Welcome you guys to yet another tier list video here on the Thracia channel. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and rank each and every character of Fire Emblem Thracia, and I'm gonna put them down here in a respective tier. And yeah, at the very top here we have Bounty Gaming for the very strongest characters, and then we have S, A, B, C, and F tier here as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty damn self-explanatory how this is gonna work. I think I'm just gonna mention though that into my decision, I'm gonna factor in things such as a character's growths, like base stats, like what scrolls are good and works really well on them. I'm gonna try and consider authority stars, action stars, and a character's FCM and support. So yeah, Thracia is a very wild game. Like there are so many things to consider, especially scrolls make it very hard to, well, objectively judge a character, like unless you completely exclude scrolls, I guess, but I want to include them. So yeah, this is going to be hard to determine what characters work really well, but yeah, I'm just going to handle it in my own way here, and then we'll see how we end up here. So yeah, first of all, Orsin. I'm probably going to plop him down here in the S tier. The reason for that is he's an Axe user. He can use axes on indoor maps. Axes, in my opinion, are the strongest weapon type in the entire game. Master Axes at the very end just crushes, any enemy. It's super strong, and you have the brave effect on that weapon type. It's just ridiculous how overpowered the Master Axe is. Lances in this game, only a few characters can actually use them on the indoor map, such as Dalsin and, Javier. Yeah, here. Only Dalsin and Javier can use lances on the indoor maps, I believe. So, yeah, once again, Axis, top tier weapon type. He's got the rev skill, he got support with Tanya, which makes him really hard for the enemy to kill, and he also gains a nice boon of hit rate from that support as long as they are together. So let me just bring up his stats here real quick. Here we go. As you can see, Orsin here, he joins at level 1, but he starts out with 27 health, which is quite nutty, and a constitution of 11, which is also very nice since axes weigh quite a bit. But other than that, like, there isn't anything too amazing about him. Like, if you look here, he's got excellent health and constitution growth. All his other growths are okay. They're nothing to write home about, really, but, with a scroll here and there's nothing you can't overcome on this character. Like, he is super strong, and his promotion 2 gives him a lot of defense, skill, speed, and a decent chunk of strength. Like, yeah, he is super solid. I really like this character, so yeah, I'm gonna put him in the S tier. I think he belongs there. If you put scrolls on him, like, you can very easily fix any stat that has lagged behind. Like in my playthrough in particular, he lagged behind a little bit in defense, but, I gave him the Dane scroll and, well, presto, he was fixed. So yeah, let's go back to the tier list. Okay, so I'm back here now, and next up we're gonna talk about Tanya. Fair Maiden Tanya. I used her for the first time here now during my Let's Play of Thracia. Yeah, I really liked her. I think she's an A-tier unit. She has some really solid points about her. Like, the support she and Orsin has, once again, is really nice. So she's very hard to hit, and her speed and luck growth are very high. So she hits very high amounts of avoidance very early on in the game. She's actually quite fun to use. But yeah, archers typically, I don't think there's going to be a single archer I want to put up in the S tier. Like, yeah, you need to be able to fight in melee. That's just how it goes. But yeah, let's look at her growths and stats. Alright, here we go. We have Tanya up on screen. As you can see, her base stats aren't the best. She's very squishy, very low on strength, and I also believe she hasn't got the best strength growth, but, we'll see in a bit. I remember it being decent at the very least, but yeah, where she shines in the beginning of the game is in speed and luck. She's got a lot of avoidance starting out, especially if she's close to Orsin, which boosts her avoidance by 10%. And yeah, she's also got an FCM of 2, which is very nice. Both her and Orsin are very likely to crit in the early game as long as they are close to each other, boosting each other's crit by 10%, and then with their FCM, it's just gonna spiral out of control real quick, once they start getting some skill points here and there. But let's see here. Growth rates, 60% health. Yeah, very high speed and luck growths. And skill isn't bad either. Yeah, she maxed out in those areas very quick during my let's play there. But yeah, as you can see here, constitution is low. Yeah, and defense too. I remember during my playthrough there, she frequently gained defense in the early game. I got very lucky. Yeah, I believe she ended at 11 defense by the end of the game after she had promoted to a sniper. But yeah, I really liked her. Like, she maxed out in my playthrough strength very quickly. She took down a lot of bosses, or a few bosses here and there. I remember Conomore, I think his name was, there in chapter 19. She really surprised me there at that map, and he ran up to her, tossed his Master Lance, and she just, well, essentially gunned him down there with an iron bow. Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, here's where she really shines, I guess. Her promotion is very nice, mainly because she gets a free move point. That's a solid promotion there. Characters like Orsin and Halvan doesn't get the movement on promotion. Yeah, so that is very nice for her. But yeah, overall, decent unit. I think that if she had an action star or something else, I could rate her higher. Like, she's probably going to end up on the lower spectrum of the A tier. But yeah, let's go back to the list again. But yeah, there we go. I'm going to place her here in the A rank. She's probably going to fall lower than a lot of other characters here in the A rank as we move on here. But, you know, I really regard her a strong character. Like, she's not bad. You can't go wrong with her. She will do what you need her to do, like take out enemy units over walls or stuff like that, you know. Or heck, even flyers. But yeah, Safiya. Where the heck are we gonna place you? I think I'm gonna put her up in the A tier. But it's hard. Like, Safiya here, she has support from, or well, no, yeah, she only has support with Tina, and she does give support like to Tina, to Lithis, to Shiva here. Yeah, she gives a lot of different character support, but she only gets from Tina. But yeah, let's bring up her stats. Okay, so here we go. This is kind of interesting. I completely forgot Leif actually supported up Safiya here, but yeah, no, there you go. So, not only does she get support by Tina, but Leif too. But yeah, Safiya here, or Safiya, decent unit. Like, her stats are terrible, but she starts out with a rank of C here in Staves, which is very nice. She can very quickly reach A rank there in Staves, which means that she can use the Silent Staff and Warp Staffs, you know, stuff like that very early on. So because of that, she quickly turns into one of the more important units in the entire game, despite her crummy stats here. Let's have a look at her growths. Yeah, at first glance, she looks incredibly silly, almost, but look at this. Yeah, a movement growth of 0%. That's actually a little bit sad. But here is where she really shines. Like, her magic and skill growths aren't bad. Like, she very quickly maxes out in magic, which means she can pretty much silence or sleep any enemy unit in the entire game very soon, which is incredibly helpful. And if you, for whatever reason, need to very quickly max her out, well, just give her a promoting seal, and yeah, she'll get +3 magic. That's very nice. However, more importantly, she gains a movement, and yeah, she even learns how to attack. But yeah, I wouldn't promote her for that prospect. Like, yeah, she only knows how to use light tomes anyways, and those tomes aren't exactly common. But yeah, low health, low luck, low defense. She dies extremely easily. But, you know, as long as you keep her far back, you can't go wrong with her. She's definitely a A-tier unit, perhaps even lower end of S-tier, because, well, at the end of the game, it certainly is nice having her around as reassurance. Like, she heals for a lot of health. Yeah, I might actually need to put her up in S tier. Okay, so yeah, here we are. I'm probably gonna scoot her up here into the bottom of rank S. Yeah, even though she can't really fight, at the very end of the game, she is very important for crowd controlling and healing. So yeah, for now, I'm gonna bump her up here a little. And, you know, she does give a lot of other units support too. So yeah, in case you level up characters like Shiva or Lithis here, like, they greatly benefit from being close to her. And like, if you promote her early so that she can survive a bit more easily, well, that she can just run around with them and be their beacon, if you will. But yeah, you just gotta be careful with her. Now then, let's see, Lithis, where the heck do I want you? I am not the biggest fan of Lithis. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna put him here in B rank. The thing with Lithis is he's got an FCM of 0, so he can't crit and follow-up attacks, which I'm not sure how that should determine my rank here. Like, he's a thief after all, but I also would like a thief to be able to fight a little bit. If you remember, I used Pawn quite extensively to do fighting. Pawn/Perne, yeah. But let's go over to his growths and stats. Okay, here we have him. Lithis. Yeah, 2 action stars. He's got support share by Safiya. Decent promotion here, as you can see. He even gains a con. No movement. Yeah, decent stats here. Not a bad promotion. However, Lithis here, he starts out with 1 luck. And yeah, if you remember from my Let's Play, he died from a random crit of a Eyvel in there. He's very liable to getting crit unless Safiya is close to him, which is a little bit annoying if you ask me. Like, a thief needs to be able to walk around on their own and survive. Like, they seriously need to. Like, you can't just put him away in a corner. Like, I don't know. I think he's a little bit too scrawny. You know, he dies very easily, which is why I don't particularly like him. But, you know, he's a decent unit. Like, he does what he needs to do. Base health growth of 65%, 35% strength, 10 magic, 25 skill, only a 1% movement growth. I didn't expect that, huh? A con growth of 10, defense 15, luck 5, speed 45. Yeah, it calculates in the Hizul scrolls here too, but yeah, just ignores the numbers there to the right of this stat. But yeah, decent unit. If you give him scrolls, sure, he can definitely work out later on in the game. There is no doubt about it. So yeah, overall, I'm probably gonna stick him in the B tier rank here. Let's go back to the tier list again. Here we are. Yeah, I think it's a decent unit, but I don't want to put him in A rank. Like, he can't attack back at range. If he had higher FCM, like, yeah, that's right. I forgot to point that out, I think. But he's got an FCM of 0, so he struggles killing units. Like, he's a thief. He's good at what he does, but he's no killing machine, is my point. I mean, heck, characters like Lara has better kill potential than this guy. That sounds really silly, but I'm actually quite sure of that. Actually, speaking of Lara, let's put her up here. Yeah, Lara. She died back on chapter 5, I want to say. It is back there in the, in Baron Raedric's halls, if you will. Yeah, a sniper unit took her out with a silver bow there. Yeah, she too is a good unit. Like, when she's a thief, she isn't that great, I suppose. But here we go. I'm gonna put her up in the 8th tier. Once you promote her to a dancer, actually I'm gonna put her above of Tanya here too, if I can. Once you promote her to a dancer, she's probably in the S tier. I might even bump her up here. Like, a dancer in Fire Emblem Thracia can be very nice for a variety of different reasons. Like, if you need to use a character such as Safiya to put a bunch of different people to sleep or silence them, it can be very nice to have a dancer around so that a very powerful staff user can do what they gotta do on the very first turn. So yeah, having a solid dancer is important. And to top it all off, if you wanna level her up with scrolls and make her into a decent fighter, then she has Pawn later on in the game, or Perne, which Perne and Lara boosts each other up by 10% hit, avoidance, crit, anti-crit. So yeah, on top of that, she also, honestly, her base stats were lower than I remembered, but yeah, she's got good speed and luck when she joins in. Enemies are gonna struggle to hit her, somewhat anyways, and once, you know, you get Pawn on the scene here together with her, together with the Kingmaker and the supports that they give each other, well, she's gonna get an increased 20% hit and avoidance, which is nice, and crit and anti-crit for that matter too. But yeah, she starts out with a defense at 0. Huh. That is not great. And a strength of 0 too, yeah. So she definitely has some issues here. You're 100% gonna need to give her scrolls if you want to be able to fight with her. But, you know, I'm probably mainly just gonna judge her, like, depending on the fact that she can promote into a dancer, not so much her combat capabilities here. But so I look here at her growths. As you can see, speed, luck, and heck, even her defense growths are pretty damn good. Like, she will very easily max out in speed and luck. Then, as far as defense goes, 20% isn't bad. I believe Lithis was at 15, or also at 10. I already forget. But either way, defense of 20 is nice. But the constitution of 5 obviously isn't that good. When she's a dancer, it doesn't matter. But as far as thieves goes, that's not good whatsoever. Lithis is definitely a better thief than Lara is, I would say. A movement gain of 3%, which is very high. That's on the high end of the spectrum across all characters. High skill, and low strength, magic, and a HP growth of 45%. So if you give her like the Azul and Baldur scroll, once you get her inside of the prison there, you can definitely, get her up there in health, and so she becomes a little bit tanky. That's what I was gonna do in my playthrough here, and then I was gonna level her up together with Pawn once she had become a dancer. Speaking of becoming a dancer, as you can see here, you lose a lot of stats, mainly speed, but that doesn't really matter. You will get all of this back very quickly. The main sad part here is just that if you have gained any strength points, you're probably gonna lose them on promotion. So she's gonna be very weak again as far as sword fighting goes, and constitution and movement drop here too. A lot of sad stat decreases here once you get to be a dancer. But I was gonna try and make her into a fighting dancer there. I think it would have been neat. But you need to invest a lot into her. That's for damn sure. But once you get the mutant scroll, once you get the Dane scroll, these two penalties here probably won't matter that much. You can very easily make her strong. The only problem with her, as far as fighting goes, is obviously she can only use swords. But let's go back to the tier list. Okay, so let us see. Where does Lara belong? Well, I mean, as a dancer, I'm gonna put her up here. As a thief, well, on either side of Lithis here, probably below, just because of her low constitution. Like, with the Nair scroll, this guy can more easily succeed in becoming a good thief, and especially if you give him the Bragi scroll and level up his luck there, then all of a sudden he's not so bad. But as a dancer, she's up here. Having Glade to dance for staff users such as Safiya, or Tina for that matter too, with the thief staff, incredibly nice to have, and she gives one of the best characters in the game support, which is Perne/Pawn there. Also very important to keep that in mind. But let's see. Next up is Shiva. Shiva I didn't even use in my playthrough, but we can still go ahead and rate him. I've used him in past playthroughs. He's really good. It's just that he only has access to swords, so whilst he is a good duelist, he does struggle a little bit, but his growths are very good. And it comes with the soul skill. He has high FCM. I'm gonna I'm gonna put him right down here for the time being. Let's jump on to the growth board there, or the stat screen, whatever. See you in a sec. All right, here we go. Here we have Shiva. He joins the player at chapter 7. He's only level 4, so he's got plenty of room to grow. He starts out with 24 health, 6 strength, a lot of skill, speed, luck. He's just very solid in all areas, and an FCM of 4. Holy crap, my man. This guy is not messing around. And he gets the Adept skill on promotion. He's gonna have Soul and Adept. He's a really solid fighter. If he could use Access, he would be an instant S-tier unit for me. Like, the only weak thing about him, I guess, is, the fact that he only has one action start. That's quote-unquote weak. And he only has support here with Safi, which isn't bad. But, well, actually, that's not bad at all. I don't know why I'm even bringing that up as something negative here. He's an all-around really good unit. And as you can see here, his growths are, they are impeccable. What can I say? Decent health, growth. If you give him the Soul Scroll, it's going to be a guaranteed health gain. His speed is at 35%, which is very low as far as sword fighters goes. But do you really care about that? You're going to hit 20 speed, whether you give him, well, speed boosting scrolls or not. Like, yeah, he starts at 12. There's just no way he doesn't max up. Or max out, yeah. High luck, high defense, high con, high skill, high strength. Yeah, he's just overall very good. You know what, let's go back to the tier list there. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put him up here. Yeah, Shiva. The fact that he gets support from Safiya, like, the more I think about it, yeah, like, here's the deal. You're pretty much always, or, well, most people are gonna want to play with her anyways. She's one of the best staff users, so yeah, he gets free support pretty much just because of how good she is. You're probably gonna want to include her on your team. So yeah, Shiva probably is a lower end S tier player here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him here for now. I might change it later. We'll see, but I don't think he belongs down here with Tanya. And then next up, let's see here, Tina. Tina, where do we place you down? I wonder. Yeah, to no one's surprise, she instantly goes to the top of the S tier rank here. It's hard to say though. Like, Orsin obviously is a very good fighter. She isn't really a good fighter. But yeah, with the thief staff, with the unlock staff, she has some incredibly high utility. She will steal a lot of good equipment for you, which will boost other people. And not only that, like, yeah, she gives you access to more staves. Like, if you can just yank them from enemy priests and priestesses. Like, she has such high utility. And heck, even 5 action stars, which means that she will frequently move again, which means that she can walk around on the map unencumbered, essentially. Yeah, she's really nice. And yeah, she's also very good together with rewarp staves. Like, yeah, very mobile unit. And yeah, let's take a look at her in the growth and stat list. Here we go, here we have her. Yeah, Tina joins in on chapter 12X at level 1. The only weak point about her that I can think of, as you can see here, she starts with a staff rank of E. That's the only problem I have with her. That and the fact that her magic and skill stats are very low. She's gonna need a lot of investment in the beginning to get her going. Yeah, but once you do, boy oh boy, does she become a very nice unit to have. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, her skill growth is also very low, so yeah, she will miss a lot in the early game with her thief staff, but that's fine. If you miss, well, all it means is that, well, you will miss. You won't lose a use of your thief staff, so it's all good. But it can be a bit annoying, especially if you try and heal. Now, here's another nice thing. She's got a movement growth of 5%. That's just bonkers. That's the highest move growth in the entire game, I want to say. A luck growth of 90, that's just silly, considering she starts out almost maxed. And yeah, very high speed. Yeah, decent character. And heck, she's even supported up by Leif here too. I failed to notice that too, I think, during my Let's Play. Or maybe I did notice it. Doesn't really matter. Let's just go back to the tier list. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put her up here. I'm probably going to bump her down a little bit. I think Orsin is slightly more useful all around. But yeah, she's very good. If you train her to fight, like to be able to fight, like if you get her the Hisulan Dane Scroll and just level up her light magic, well, if you do that and she gains access to the Nosferatu, she can definitely be very deadly. But yeah, she's not gonna create a whole bunch of any of that. Like, she doesn't have any FCM. But yeah, I'm gonna keep her up here at the high spectrum of S tier. We have quite a lot of people there already. Holy crap. Next up, let's do Nanna. Nanna, I'm probably gonna put up here in the bounty game. That's essentially S+. Nanna is just one of those crazy characters that has a lot of important support, and she has the charm skill. The only thing that's not great about her is her growth situation, but we're gonna look at that in a second. But yeah, if you level her up with scrolls, she's definitely the bounty gaming category. if you don't, she's still gonna be at the, well, top here of the S tier, in my opinion. Like, she supports up characters such as Finn, she supports up Homer here, and she also supports up the hero, Leif, which, that's all well and good, but we must also keep in mind that she has the Charm Aura, so that means that characters like Homer, Finn, Leif gets 20% hit and avoidance from her, and 10% crit and anti-crit. That is just bonkers. Like, she's such a boon to your main units. It's ridiculous, actually, how good she is. It's utterly ridiculous. Couple that with the Earth Sword, which makes her very easy to level up in the early game if you so desire, like, and then you can just use a hammer and a staff on the Earth Sword. That's what I did, but yeah, my Nanna became incredibly strong. I might just flash up her stats there on screen. Although, no, never mind, let's not do that. That's just more work for me. Let's just go into her base stat screen here. Hold on a sec. Here we have her, Nanna. So, yeah. One thing I forgot to mention there too, not only is she, well, a very nice unit for the fact that she has the charm skill, but yeah, she also has access to a steed here. So, yeah, once again, easily one of the stronger healers in the game, and she can also be a decent fighter once she becomes a paladin, like once she has promoted. Yeah, she even gets movement, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, I really like this character. Her bases are not the best, like, let's be honest here. Yeah, nothing really to write home about, if you will. And her growths aren't super solid either. If you want to make her work as a fighter, you need to give her at least a few scrolls, like the Baldur scroll in the early game, and heck, even the Hesul scroll there, to beef up her health growth, mainly. If you remember my playthrough there, I really invested a lot into my Nanna. She essentially got maxed out in most stats. She had 59 health, I want to say, at the end. And yeah, she was maxed out in sword fighting. Like, yeah, I had a blast playing with her. It was the first time I actually leveled her up as a fighter and not as a healer. Remember there, I only had a staff rank of C, or perhaps she was at the staff rank of D at the end game. I completely neglected her staff expertise and I only focused on sword fighting. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to level her as a fighter. So yeah, she was just running around with the charm skill there, or aura, and just beefed up people and tanked as well. She was extremely fun to use. And yeah, as you can see, she has support from Dermott, one of, yet another one of the best units in the game as far as supports go. And she also is supported by Leif. So yeah, if Dermott is close to her once he joins in there in chapter 21, since they have support and he has the Charm Aura too, that means she will get 20% hit, avoidance, 10% crit, 10% anti-crit. Yeah, just extremely busted unit Nanna here if you level her up properly, if you will. And then, yeah, to solidify her, she also has support with Leif, a character that doesn't get fatigued. He's always going to be there. And yeah, I think these are strong cases for why she's one of the best units in the game. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna put her up here. I might be a little bit biased. Maybe she does deserve to be down here somewhere, but I'm gonna put her up here. Up on a pedestal. I think she's great. Great support. No FCM, no action star, no authority, none of that, but the Charm Aura weighs up for it. But yeah, you're gonna need to invest some scroll levels on her. But she joins very early, so you have plenty of time to level her up. Give her some pampering there. And then Finn. Finn, I'm gonna put him just above Shiva, I think. He's a cavalry unit, he has great support, very much like Nanna, and he has an authority star. And his growths, well, they aren't super high. They're good enough that he doesn't need a whole lot of scrolls to function. And yeah, he's just gonna run around, kick some ass on outdoor maps, and on indoor maps, sure, he falls off, but even then, the authority star there can bump up your other units. But yeah, let's just swap to the stat screen. Alright, here we go. Here we have Finn. He starts out at level 7. He's got an authority star there. Yeah, and you recruit him at chapter 1. So yeah, he's with you for the whole game. You have a lot of time to level him up. And yeah, as you can see, his stats are very nice. The stats here on the left is when he's mounted, and to the right are the stats when he's dismounted, in case you're curious. He starts out with a constitution of 9, which is nice, and very necessary, especially considering he doesn't have a whole lot of constitution growth, if I remember correctly. I think it's at 15. But yeah, look at this. He starts out with with a lance rank of B, sword rank of D. Yeah, he's just really clutch, and he also has the miracle skill, which is nice, I guess. His promotion, there you go, is very nice too here. Yeah, lots of good stats, and yeah, he gets more movement, which is the most important part. And yeah, to just solidify how good he is, like, true, he doesn't support anybody in the game, but both Leif and Nanna boosts him by 30% hit and avoidance when they are close to him, which is incredibly nice for his capture game on outdoor maps. Yeah, there are some maps with some bosses when they sit on gates. If you just bring Leif and Nanna to him, he gets sky high crit, and he can very easily just bypass armor and capture pretty much anything in the game as long as you use the Brave Lance. So yeah, if it weren't for these two supports here, he would probably be, well, quite a bit lower on the S rank, perhaps, in the bottom there. But yeah, thanks to the support, he's probably gonna end up be, well, at least a mid-tier S rank character. So yeah, let's go back to the tier list. Alright, so we're back here, and you know what, I did some thinking here. I think I'm gonna bump him up. I definitely want to say it's better than Safiya here. I'm not so sure if it's Tina levels of good, but at the very least here, I'm gonna put him for now. Yeah, let's leave him right there. That's a good seat for him. Then Homer, which you recruited chapter 14 with Nanna. A very solid unit. I'm gonna use him whenever we replay the game. I'm gonna do a scrollless playthrough of Fire Emblem Thracia at some point. And characters like Homer are gonna be very nice then, because, well, as you might know, he starts with the Padagon skill, which means he gains double experience, making him a very nice unit. And to top all of it off, he also has support from Nanna here, which means that enemies are gonna struggle to crit him, which is important when you're doing a scroll-less run. I'm just gonna put it like that. So, yeah, where do I rate him? Probably... probably around here. Let's see. I'm probably gonna stick him right here. We're gonna need to go and look at his stats here real quick. Alright, so here we have Bard. He joins at chapter 14. He's level 5, 1 action star, FCM of 5, very nice. And yeah, he's got access to all kinds of tomes there. Yeah, fire, lightning, wind, and light. That is very nice. And look at this. He even has access to the Sage promotion, which is nutty. Look at these stats here. This is one of the best promotions in the entire game, like +4 defense. This is just ridiculous. Okay, you know what? I might actually need to scoot him up, you know, in the tier list. Yeah, he even gets access to staves. Yeah, Homer here is ridiculously strong. Yeah, he's pretty much like Linuan. She doesn't have any action stars, but she too has 5 FCM. His growths are... oh, wow. They are impeccable. They are actually impeccable. Very close to Asbel's growths, I wanna say. Huh. Yeah, but he's got a movement growth of 3%. That is very nutty. Yeah, this guy, you can't go wrong with using him. We're gonna go back to the tier list here. Okay, so yeah, considering what we saw just now there in the stat growths, and the fact that he had an FCM of 5, he's getting support by Nanna, yeah, that definitely makes me want to, well, once again, nudge him up here a little bit. It's hard to say if he's more useful than Finn. On indoor maps, he certainly is. I'm gonna put him right here. Yeah, he starts with a staff rank in D, which is nice, but he's not gonna... yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work for him to be able to rewarp around. You need staff rank of A in order to do that. So yeah, it's gonna take a while to get going, but still though, very nice unit. A lot better than I thought, honestly. I'm definitely gonna try him out on a scrollless rounder. Like, I played with him in the past on my 3rd playthrough of Thracia, so I already knew he was good, but yeah. But here now, we're gonna go to Dermott next. I lost Dermott very early on in my playthrough. His base stats are very low. His growths are decent. They're average, perhaps slightly above average. But he's got this charm aura there. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put him right here, probably. He's only able to use swords, which that makes me not want to put him ahead of a S tier X rank user here. But yeah, he supports up other units. He can handle his own in a fight. The only reason I lost Dermott was, well, on chapter 22, a guy with a anti-cavalry weapon scored a hit on him, and well, yeah, that unit that killed Dermott was buffed up by Saias and all the generals on that map. So yeah, I got a little bit unlucky there, and I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, he's a really good unit. Let's look at him here real quick. Alright, so here we are. Here we have Dermott, or Dermott as they spell it out. Yeah, he joins at chapter 21, which is very late, but yeah, he's a boon to your army once he joins. Like, he comes with the Charm Aura, he has the Bio Sword with the Vantage and Wrath skills there, although I don't think they both work at once, weirdly enough. But yeah, mainly what I care about here is the Charm Aura. His bases are decent, like they're a little bit low, but you can very easily max him out in stats. Let's have a look at his growths here. Yeah, his growths are nothing to sneeze at. He's gonna max out very quickly, and he's even got a move growth here of 2%. That's very nice for a, well, cavalry unit. They typically only have 1%. But yeah, con of 15, decent defense luck, yeah, speed is high. Yeah, everything is just good on him. Like, yeah, if you give him the Balder Scroll and, well, one other scroll, like, he doesn't need a whole lot of scrolls. A few scrolls that boosts him up in many different areas, and, he's gonna be all aces, You just gotta put some effort into him. So yeah, Dermott, really good unit. Support with Nanna. Can't really go wrong with him. Could he use staves 2 or axes? He would easily be, like, up here. There's no question about it, but yeah, for now, I'm gonna put him down here somewhere. Like, he's really good. If only he could use something else than swords, he would be crazy good. And holy crap, is this taking a long time? I think I'm gonna need to split up the video here. And yeah, I also had to do a lot of retakes here whilst talking. So yeah, this is gonna take me a hot minute to get together. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take a quick break here, and I'll be back and see where we're gonna place Dagdar. Dagdar. Okay, so I'm back here now from my little break, and next up we're gonna rate Dagdar, and yeah, I think I'm gonna put him, well, here on the high end of B tier. Like, I like the cut of his jib. He looks very manly. He's got a nice beard going on here. He's got good bases. Like, they're nice, but his growths are abysmal, as you'll see here in a bit. Yeah. But on the plus side, he does have access to access, so yeah, if you train him with a lot of scrolls, and I mean a lot of them, he can become decent by the very end of the game, and you're probably going to need to give him some stat boosters too. So if you invest heavily, which would be fun, I gotta admit, then he can probably be, well, up in the S tier. But yeah, from my experience when playing the game, he's roughly at high B rank or low A tier. You know what, let's just go on over to his stats here. Alright, so here we are. Dagdar has 1 action star. He starts out at level 6. That's very unfortunate. If he started out at level 1, then he would have more room to grow. That would have been nice. But yeah, as you can see here, his luck is at 2, which is, well, not good. He's very liable to getting crit. Luckily, he has some decent supports down here. He's supported up by Tanya, and also by Marty, and of course by Eyvel too, but she disappears very early. But yeah, if you're gonna play with Marty, it's definitely a good thing to have Dagdar follow him around, just so that, well, Marty can hit, because, well, he struggles to hit in the early game. You'll see why here in a bit, if you don't know. But yeah, getting back to Dagdar, an FCM of 1, move of 7, like, as you can see, decent bases. There is nothing really to complain about here. He can hold on out a fair bit into the game before he starts falling off. Like, eventually he'll fall off due to his low speed. So yeah, it's not a bad idea to give him like a scroll such as the Z scroll or OD scroll, you know, to boost him up in skill and speed so he can hang later on in the game if you wanna if you're gonna wanna use him. Yeah, other than that, let's see, like, yeah, abysmal growths. Yeah, this is not pretty. Like, if you want him to become a beast, you're gonna have to give him like 4 or 5 scrolls at the very least. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I mean, you could do it, but I wouldn't. So yeah, there you go. I think that Dagdar belongs in the B tier. Like, I wanna like him, I truly do, but he requires a lot of work. Yeah, honestly, if you're gonna play with him, give him some skill and speed and luck boosters for that matter in the early game. Like, you gotta get that shit on him so that he can keep up, you know. But he's really cool. I definitely wanna stress that. But yeah, moving on. Marty next. Marty, I really have been impressed by in my, well, latest Let's Play there. He is a lot better than I ever could imagine he actually was. Like, yeah, he's got shitty growths at first sight, at least I thought so. I always imagined he would be a C tier unit, but after playing here with him, after seeing how freaking strong he can be if you just level him properly and give him an actual shot, I realized that he's probably somewhere up here maybe in the tier. Yeah, somewhere here. I mean, it's hard to it's hard to say. I don't think I can put him above Finn. Where Marty shines in the early game is his high defense, constitution, luck, and health growth. He is very tanky early on. If Dagdar follows him around, he will get some additional stats there: hit, avoidance, crit, and anti-crit, which is very important for him. And here's the here's the kicker with him. Actually, let's jump to the stat screen first before I talk about this. Okay, so here we go. Here we have Marty and his stats. Yeah, as you can see here, he's supported up by Dagdar. His base stats are decent, like very high amounts of health for a level 1 unit, like 32 health, 9 strength, 15 con, 6 defense, like nothing to sneeze at here. And yeah, he lacks magic skill speed. Yeah, we already knew this, but let's go and look here at his growths. Yeah, as you can see here, he lacks strength, skill, and speed. But you mustn't shy away from Marty here, because if you look down here on his promotion, when he promotes, he gains absurd amounts of stats. He will basically repair himself here in the skill and speed department. Like, yeah, don't be afraid to use this unit. And like, to top it all off, remember the Z and the OD scroll? The scroll, well, those 2 scrolls boost speed by 30% and skill by 30%. And typically in this game, not very many units want to use those 2 scrolls because, well, most units very easily top off in skill on their own. Like, it's one of the least useful stats, you know, to gain, if you will. But for a character like Marty, who has very low skill growth, he can just very easily make great use of the OD scroll, which not very many other wants to hold anyways. So just give it to Marty. Then the Z scroll, which boosts speed by 30% and magic by 10%. That scroll reduces health growth by 10%, but Marty already has a health growth of 90%. So just go ahead and toss that on him too. Once you've done this, he's got a skill and speed growth of 40 and 45%, which at that point, he's going to be able to, well, become a decent unit. And yeah, then there's still the issue of strength, but once you get the mutant scroll, then that scroll will boost his strength by another 30%. So yeah, in the early game, give him the OD and the Z scroll, get his skill and speed going, that's what I did, and then later on, I gave him the mutant scroll there to boost up his strength. And heck, even the Uller scroll isn't a bad one to give to him, like it gives 10% skill, speed, and luck, but others might wanna use that one for crit protection. But yeah, he becomes really good if you just level him up with those 2 very weak scrolls there, which is very interesting. I for sure thought it was just a, well, crappy unit, but yeah, back to the tier list. So yeah, Marty here, definitely very underestimated. I severely underestimated him. If he had a action star or authority star or anything like higher FCM, he would be higher up on this list. But you know, he does have access to the Master Axe weapon. I would put him above Finn. like in terms of end game prowess, but in the early game and the mid game, like I can't overlook the fact how strong Finn is. Like Marty takes some time to get going. Finn overall is just stronger throughout the entire game, I would say. That's why I want to have him slightly ahead. And, he also has many great supports and, Authority Star, the Brave Lance for outdoor map. Yeah, there is just too many things in his favor here. But, yeah, Marty with the Master X at the end game. Can't go wrong with it. He's super strong. And heck, on my playthrough, I even gave him the Rat skill. It was actually quite fun to use. He fought fiercely. That's really all I'm going to say. Now then, next up, Halvan, Spring 1899's unit. Yeah, he picked this one for my playthrough for me to play with, or he requested that I would play with Halvan. And I gotta say, Halvan, I already knew he was good, but yeah, he did a lot of work. He was crazy good. He was one of my main fighters. He had slightly less health than Orsin, but I remember I gave him the magic growth scrolls there, so yeah, he ended up like at 11 or 12 magic by the time we were at the end game, so he was a very nice unit for dealing with the mages there on late game maps. Yeah, he could pretty much duel anything in the game. He comes with the Vantage skill. He has good growths. He's got an FCM of 4. The only thing holding Halvan back is the fact that he has no support. But even so, like, he is a ridiculously strong unit. I might want to put him below Orsin overall. Let's go and look at his growths here. Yeah, here we go. Halvan. He starts out with slightly lower stats, I think, than Orsin. Yeah, they're at the same health. He's a little bit slower, less luck, 1 point less in defense, but he's got 1 constitution higher and 1 FCM higher. Yeah, and yeah, they're pretty much the same. But yeah, let's see here. He does have better growths than Orsin though. Yeah, a major growth of 5, move of 2. Yeah, pretty standard stuff here. He's a decent unit for sure. Like if you give him a scroll or 2, like he's gonna be able to max out by the end game there. He's a really solid unit. But yeah, the only reason I personally think that my Halvan got to be stronger than Orsin is because I, well, quite frankly, pampered Halvan a whole lot more. Like, I didn't give Orsin a whole lot of scroll level ups until the very end of the game. Yeah, since Spring requested that I would play with this character, I wanted to try and focus more on him, for this particular playthrough. But yeah, as you can see, he only supports up with Eyvel here, which is definitely a small strike against him here. But overall, a very solid unit. If I were to rate him how well he did on my playthrough, I would have to rate him higher than Orsin, but objectively, across like a lot of different playthroughs or whatever, I would probably rate Orsin a little bit higher since he can support up with Tanya there. So yeah, I'm gonna have him right here, slightly below Orsin. I might be wrong, but my gut tells me that I want to put him here. Eyvel, let's see. Eyvel of Fianna Freeblades. Like, what's... This is where it gets tricky, because obviously I think that she is a better unit than Dagdar. Like, she would kick his ass in a duel. Let's be real here, but he's with you for the entire game, and she isn't. She disappears. But if she were to be with you in the game, yeah, I would probably put her here. Let's actually hop on over to her stats. I actually don't know her growths very well. Okay, let's see here. Eyvel. Oh, wow. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. She has an authority star, 2 action stars. Yeah, I remember the authority star there on the very final map now that I look at this. Yeah, her stats are pretty good, she's a little bit squishy. She supports up a lot of different people. Holy crap. Yeah. On chapter 25, you can definitely make good use of her, Ocean and Halvan, and Mareeta too for that matter, yeah. And she's supported by Leif and Mareeta. Now, Sally on my Let's Play there, she died at the very end due to a Fenrir Tome guy who was on one of those magic boosting tiles there. So, yeah, that was a shame. But, Yeah, let's see. Yeah, very much like Dagdar. Not the best growths, but hey. Just a death skill. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to rate her slightly higher than Dagdar here, especially thanks to all this support here. Yeah, you know what? Here. I'm gonna bump her up to A tier. I think that if you got, like, if you just spoke hypothetically, if she got to play a little bit more, she could probably be at, like, the high end of the A tier rank, but you get to use her a little bit in the beginning. She's very useful, and by the end of the game, she has the authority star, so it is nice to get her back, and she supports up some key actors here, like people who are, well, very high up in the rankings, so you can make good use of her. But yeah, she's probably going to end up in the low end of A tier here. Yeah, let's put her right there. Mareeta Bicicleta, as I like to call her. This unit is a very weird one to place down. Obviously, if you get her the Astera skill, she's one of the best duelists in the entire game, coupled with the fact that she has the added skill, and Luna too, for that matter. Yeah, she just becomes a monster at that point. The one thing holding her back is the fact that she can't attack back at ranged units. Yeah. Yeah, like, obviously by the time you're at the end game, she's stronger than Finn. There's no question about it. Homer, he's also very strong. Not as strong as this lady, but he can attack at range. Like, overall, I think I'm gonna put her right here. Yeah, let's go have a look at her. Okay, so here we are with Mareeta now. She joins at level 2 with 1 extra star on chapter 12, so she joins reasonably early in the game. Her bases are decent, a little bit low on strength and defense, but that doesn't really matter. With an FCM of 5, she's just gonna pierce everybody's defense anyways. And let's see here at growths, 60% growth in strength, very nice. Yeah, a movement growth of 3%, that's also very busted. Like, overall, she's just a solid unit, like, yeah. And on her promotion here, she gets a lot of nice stats here too, but perhaps most importantly, the move stat, +1, and she gets the adept skill. And yeah, if you just find Shanam there out in the forest, in the Millefeuille forest, I think. No, wait. You find him in chapter 15, and then you gotta seek him out in the Millefeuille forest later or something. I don't remember. But yeah, if you get the adept skill there, she's a very strong unit for dueling other soldiers. But dueling in this game isn't very important. Like, yeah, there are very few enemies far and wide between that you need a strong duelist for, so it's not a terribly important class to have strong units of, myrmidons or swordmasters here. Yeah, I really value being able to attack at range in this game. Like, only being able to use swords is a detriment, I would say. But here is the deal. Here is one of the most busted things about Mareeta. She supports up Galzus here by 20%, which is utterly ridiculous. He's already one of the best units in the entire game. He comes with the Astra skill for free and the Luna skill. And, like, unlike Mareeta, he can use Axes too. Which, yeah, even though Mareeta can have the Astra and Adept and the Luna skill at the same time, which Galzus can, that doesn't really matter. He can use Master Axes, and that's really all that matters to me. Like, if you want to be a perfect unit, quote-unquote. But she boosts his stats by 20%. That is just ridiculous. It's so strong in the end game. Of course, you only get to use it on the very final maps of the game, like the 2 final maps. So, yeah. I guess it's not that crazy. It is crazy whilst you have it anyways. And yeah, she's supported up by 10% by Galzus and 10% by Eyvel here too. But yeah, let's go back to the tier list. So, yeah, I might... I'm gonna keep her here. Like, if Galzus for whatever reason joined on earlier in the game, yeah, sure, I might have been able to boost her up a little bit, but yeah, I don't think I can do it at a good conscience. And you know what, speaking of Galzus, here we go. I think I'm gonna put him right up here. I mean, I might honestly want to put him in Bounty Gaming. Yeah. I mean, honestly. Yeah, he's such a good unit. Is he perfect? No, he's not. But there are a few things that make him, well, go over the edge, if you will. Here, let's look him up. So, here we have him. Galzus joins at chapter 24 if you talk to him with Mareeta. He comes with the Luna skill and the Astera skill. And, yeah, I mean, just look at his bases. Like, he is incredibly strong. He's got 5 action stars. That's the main reason why I want to put him up at the very highest tier there. He's got a solid amount of health. He's got maxed out strength, maxed out skill and speed. He's got very high defense. He's at 14, and luckily for him, defense isn't all that important in the end game when he joins, because you're mainly going to be fighting mages, so the 9 magic here is incredibly useful. And yeah, SCM of 3, I don't know if I pointed it out, but yeah, overall, really solid unit, as you can see. Like, put a Master X on this bad boy, and like, he crushes anything, and with a little bit of luck, he moves again. Like, if this guy is close to Mareeta and characters like Nanna, like, he's almost unstoppable. Like, he's incredibly solid. If it weren't for the fact that he had X rank, I would not put him in the highest tier there, in Bounty tier. But yeah, I think he deserves to be up there, especially considering he gets a, auto support, an auto support, yeah. He gets a 20% support, which, I mean, if you have a 20% support, 20% increased crit, hit, avoidance, like, with an FCM of 3, if you get 20% additional crit, like, you cannot not crit, The fact that he has an FCM of 3 doesn't matter as long as Mareeta is still alive on Chapter 25 or Chapter 24X. They are just gonna kick ass, So yeah, Galzus, like, objectively, I would probably have to say that he's above Nanna here. And honestly, I'm probably putting her too high up. She probably shouldn't be up here. I'm pandering a little bit. Is that even the right word? Galzus, though, definitely should be up here. Crazy good unit. Freaking, yeah, a beast of a unit even. I don't think too many are surprised with me putting him up there. Yeah, but I might have been a little bit too generous with Nanna. Like, she has the Earth Sword, and at the end game, she is very strong. Nothing can really kill her. Like, once again, she is really good. It's just that you gotta invest with her a lot with scrolls. If you don't, yeah. But I don't know. Like, I wanna keep her up there. I'm sorry, you guys, if you don't like it, but yeah. I'm a sexist at heart. What can I say? Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, come on. Let's see here. Fergus. Fergus. Where do we put you, Mr. Fergus? This might surprise some people, but despite Fergus's high FCM, I'm probably gonna put him down here in the A tier. I am honestly on edge. I wouldn't mind putting him here behind Shiva either. They're essentially the same. It's just that this guy is a cavalry. This guy, has to walk around. It's just that, actually, maybe he should be up here. On indoor maps, Shiva is better because he moves faster than Mr. Fergus. And Fergus only has a move growth of 1%, I want to say. So he's not very likely to get move level ups unless you give him the Dane scroll. And to top it all off, Shiva gets the adept skill. This guy is skillless, completely skillless. But yeah, Shiva's the adept and the soul skill. Overall usefulness. Yeah, you know what? Overall usefulness, this guy is better. But in the end game, I would definitely put Shiva higher up than Fergus. I'm gonna put him right here. Fergus, decent growth, slightly lower than Shiva, but he is on a freaking steed, so he's good. He's got a high FCM. I think he's got 1 action star, very much like Shiva. Actually, let's head on over and take a quick gander at Fergus here. Okay, here we have him, Mr. Fergus. Yeah, he joins in at level 3, chapter 4, so he has plenty of room to grow. Yeah, his promoting ain't too bad either, yeah. Let's see, he supports up with Karin. That's probably the best point about him, like, which is something that Shiva doesn't have. Shiva gets support by Safiya, which is incredibly nice, but it doesn't give her back any. Fergus and Karin are duo support, which is very nice. But yeah, his bases are good. Once you get out of prison, he becomes seriously strong. And yeah, his growths are pretty good. Like, decent con, decent defense. He's a little bit low in speed, but that doesn't matter. He's gonna get capped out very soon. And yes, I thought a move of 1%. Yeah, but overall, decent unit. Like, he doesn't need a whole lot of scrolls to get going. Like, sure, you could give him one to move around with if you just want to bump him up a little bit, but I don't think he's gonna need it. Like, he's a really solid unit. Once again, he can't attack back. That's my only gripe with him, since he can only use swords. But, let's see. Let us see. Yeah, Fergus, I'm probably going to put him here. Overall usefulness, a little bit higher than Shiva here. But late game, Shiva is definitely better. Now then, Karin. Okay, yeah, sorry about the weird cut there. Karin here. I'm going to put her one step above Fergus here in the S tier. I think she's a good unit. Unlike him, she doesn't have any FCM, which is a shame. She doesn't have any action stars, none of that. But there are a few things that she has going for herself. And that is the fact that she starts out at a very high base stat in Magic. I believe she starts out at 7, which is incredibly nice. And not only that, once you get out of the prison, she can fly around. She's a very good utility character. Yeah, she's very important. I would definitely want to put her slightly above him. And if it weren't for the fact that she can use javelins and, ranged weapons, she would be below Fergus here. But yeah, I really like her. Let's actually go and look at her stats here. Okay, so here I am now at Karin, and at first glance her stats aren't the best. Her constitution of 4 isn't very nice, an FCM of 1, yeah. But yeah, as I said there, a magic of 7, that's pretty damn good. For one particular reason, I'll bring that up very soon here. Yeah, she's got very high luck and speed, and yeah, she supports up with Fergus here, as we saw, but also, if your recruit said at the end of chapter 23 there, well, she's got 2 supports here from both him and Fergus for the end game, which, yeah, at that point she's going to be really solid if you choose to use her. But yeah, here's the deal with this lady. On outdoor maps, she's great with lances, right? On indoor maps, she's forced to use swords, which I've pointed out isn't very good. However, in this lady's case, she starts out with 7 magic, right? Which you need magic to deal more damage with flame swords. And since she starts out with the magic of 7, and she gains +2 magic on promotion, I talked about this during my Let's Play, like, she's one of the better flame sword users in your entire army, like, as long as you just train her and level up her sword fighting, which you should be able to do easily down in the prison. Like, yeah, I believe my Karin was at 16 magic without scroll level ups, to boost her magic by the time I was in the end game. So, getting at least to 12, 13 magic shouldn't be any issues. Like, she's got a magic growth of 15, and heck, you could even give her the high scroll if you want her to max out in magic. Like, at that point, she can move around amongst Fenrir enemy mages and just, be at 25 magic if you max out. Like, and if you also had the flame sword equipped, she's gonna be pretty much impervious to damage at that point. And, like, for a flyer, she has 2% movement. Okay, there we go. I had myself some water. My voice started to crack up. I've been talking for a long time here now. But yeah, for a flyer, she's got a move growth of 2%, which is very nice. I believe both Eda and Dean there only has a move of 1%. So yeah, she's a little bit more likely there to gain movement too. Actually, twice as likely without the Dane scroll. But yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, her constitution is very low, although that doesn't matter with the flame sword. Yeah, speed and luck. Decent growths overall. Nothing terribly interesting. But yeah, Karin's a decent unit. I really like her. So, yeah, let's just go back to the list again. So, yeah, I'm gonna put her right here, slightly above Fergus. Yeah, she is slightly more lean towards a utility character than him. for the entire early / middle game. Like the fact that she can fly over mountains is very nice. Yeah, she's very good. Okay, so yeah, she's very strong. But yeah, my vocal cords are on a strike here now. I'm gonna have to rest my voice for a bit, and I'll come back in an hour or so, because yeah, there are so many characters left and there is no way I can get through it all here without my voice not completely breaking. So yeah, I'll keep on going here in a bit. See you guys in a sec. Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Where were we? Yeah, we talked about Karin, and I guess we're gonna move on to Misha here now. I've never played with this lady before, so I don't really have an opinion on her, but you know what? Misha here, yeah. Let's check out her stats. She has decent bases. I mean, they are nothing to write home about, but you know, for a level 4 Pegasus Knight, she's got 1 action star, an FCM of 2, really high magic, but her strength leaves a lot to be desired. But I think that you can work these kinks out with her. She does come with a sword rank of A and lance rank of A2, and her growths are not bad. Huh. Her con is only at 5% though, so yeah, she's gonna need the nearest scroll if she's gonna have any chance of getting more constitution, but yeah, a magic growth of 15%, same as Karin. You know, if you just train her up a little bit with these growths, she can definitely be a decent unit. That's for sure, once you get to the late game. Like, she will definitely be able to wield flame swords too at a very capable level. So, you know, couple that with the 10% bonus she gets from Karin, and she's not going to be a bad unit. I'm probably still not going to rate her too high. Because, well, for one, well, you know, she has an FCM of 2. She might honestly be a slightly better Karin, but it's really hard to say. It's just a shame she doesn't get or give support to anyone. But yeah, let's go back here to the tier list. Okay, so I'm back here now, and I think I'm gonna put her, or Misha rather, at the top of the A rank. Mainly just because I am a little bit ignorant as of what she can and cannot do. She doesn't seem like a bad unit. She has slightly better growths than Karin, I believe. Like, Karin has the same constitution. It's just that she has, well, weaker bases here, if that makes sense, yeah. But she doesn't seem like a bad unit. Like, if you train her, I can definitely see how she could be useful. At some point in some playthrough, I would love to try and recruit her again. Yeah, if you remember that I accidentally killed her on this, well, playthrough. So, yeah, that was a shame. I was planning on using her, but yeah. Next up, Dalsim, or Dalsin. Where do you belong? Dalsin, there isn't anything in particular that stands out about him, other than that he's supported up by Leif. And once he promotes, he gains a lot of nice stuff going for him. You know, let's just bring up his stats here. Okay, here we have Dalsin. Yeah, he's at level 5. He joins in on chapter 4. He's got decent stats here. Well, I mean, HP, strength, defense, and con are decent, but yeah, he really lacks skill, speed, and luck. He really needs Leif close to him, unless, well, Leif is close. Well, he's gonna get crit a whole bunch. I guess you could also give him a scroll, but yeah. And here's another nice thing to pay attention to. Dalsin gets a very nice promotion, almost as good as Marty's. Like, yeah, a decent amount of strength, lots of skill, a lot of defense, yeah. And to top it all off, he learns how to use lances, which, yeah, if I use this guy whenever we replay the game without scrolls, which I probably will, like, it would be very interesting to just promote Dalsin as early as possible, level up lances so that he can, well, start using master lances on endgame maps. That way you can use master axes on other units. Yeah, that could be pretty cool, I gotta say. But yeah, his growths, 60% HP, 50 strength, His defense is very low, but that doesn't really matter. He gains so much on promotion. He should be fine across all the, well, level ups he's got to work with here. Yeah, 35 level ups in total if you max him out to, well, get max defense. That should be feasible. And yeah, speed and luck is definitely going to be your main, well, that's what you gotta worry about here with this guy. You really gotta get him going there. Yeah, if you just give him the Zed scroll, perhaps the Ullur scroll, you can get him going, I'm sure. But yeah, he's an interesting unit. I would love to use this guy once again on a scroll-less run. Interesting guy here, Dalsin. So, where do we put this man on the tier list? He doesn't have any action stars, no authority stars. None of all that. He's pretty much in the same boat as Marty, but with a few more flaws. Yeah. For one, he's way slower. 5 movement. Marty starts at 6 and ends up at 7 when he promotes, I believe. Dalsin gains a point of movement when he promotes, sure, but yeah. He still is decent, and the fact that he can use Master Lances on indoor maps later on, that would be very nice. You can get so many good lances in the mid game and in the end game, and it's a shame that you can't really use them. You can, but I don't know. It would have been cool to have a character like Dalsin at the very end who can actually bring them into the final maps of the game. Yeah. This guy is tough to place out. I think that, and this might look a little bit silly, but I think that honestly he might be slightly better than Shiva. Yeah, he has support from Leif, which definitely bumps him up a little bit. And, yeah, the fact that he can attack on range. Sure, Shiva would in a 1v1 kick his ass, there is no question about it. That's not what I'm saying, that Dalsin would beat Shiva in a 1v1 here. But you can make him very useful. He can just sit and tank endless amounts of enemies if you just level up his defense there. And yeah, thanks to the fact that he can use both axes and lances to toss back. That's very big. Couple that with his tankiness, yeah. He should be a solid unit, Yeah, I think I'm gonna put him here for now. Honestly, yeah, Shiva. Should Shiva even be up here in this tier is what I'm starting to think. It almost feels, yeah, he should be down here. All he can do is run in and fight. Characters like Dermott has a lot of FCM like Shiva, but he also has the Charm Aura and really strong support with Nanna. He's gonna get bumped up 20% there. Yeah, and Mareeta too, She's only up here because of, the Luna and the Astra and the Adept skills. Otherwise, she would not be this high up. And the fact that she also supports up Galzus is also in the consideration here of why she's even here at all. If it weren't for all those things, she probably would be down here or, probably at the bottom of the A tier. But yeah, she brings so much good utility here for other top tier units or for another top tier unit. But yeah, we're gonna bump this guy down to top of the A. And Dalsin, this looks very weird. I did not think I would put him up here. But, once again, Master Axes and Master Lances, I hold them in very high regard. I think he can be a really strong unit. If you just train him, you're going to need to give him a couple of scrolls, at all times so that he can get good level ups. But I think you can definitely make him work. He can be solid. Yeah, I'm going to put him there. Sara. I'm probably going to put it right here, right off the bat. Sara, with scrolls, she can become one of the nastiest characters in the entire game. Sure, she has an FCM of 0, but 5 move star, and yeah, that's pretty much it. She comes with Yeah, she joins up with C rank in staves. She has the Paragon, the Wrath skill, and the Miracle skill. So she has a lot of things going for her. So even though she has a very low, crit rate, like she isn't very good at instigating fights thanks to her low FCM, but she's very good at sitting around and just shooting back thanks to the Wrath skill. And if you just give her a Nosferatu Tome, well, who the heck is gonna kill her? Like, that's just not gonna happen. She's just ridiculously good. My Sara, as you saw there, or well, if you're watching my playthrough, I got her up to like 34, 35 HP, which you can do a lot better. But yeah, it's more than enough. And she had around 13, 14 defense. And yeah, even at those levels, no enemies could really touch her. Like, once she got rewarps in her inventory, she could just warp around, take enemies out with impunity. Like, she's just one of those ridiculously strong units. And, not only is she good for fighting, but she also has access to stays, that can silence, put people to sleep, she can heal. Like, yeah, there are multiple factors here as to why she is so gosh darn strong. And not only that, like, she also gets support from Leif. So, yeah, as long as Leif is close to her, she gets buffed up. And, if Leif is holding on to the Kingmaker, well, then it gets even grosser. But, yeah, let's look at her stats here. Okay, so here we are. And, yeah, I forgot to mention this. She also promotes into a Sage, which, as we discussed earlier here in this little video here. Yeah, look at these stats she gains. 2 movement. Holy crap. Yeah, she starts with 5, that's why. 3 defense, 5 skill and speed, 6 magic. Yeah, this is just crazy. And plus 50 weapon experience when she promotes. That is also gross. Like, oh, actually she joins at B rank in stays. Holy crap, would you look at that? I thought she joined at C. That makes her even more busted. Like, yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking here. Like, they could have at least made you work for her. Like, start her off at D rank in stays. Like, I'm not even joking. She's way too easy to get going. But yeah, her bases are very poor, sure, but it doesn't really matter. With 5 action stars, she's just out of control. That's essentially it. And holy crap, look at these growths. Her offensive stats will max out very quickly. She just needs the Jesus scroll and the Dane scroll, potentially, if you want some more defense and potential move level ups on her. And, she'll just be aces. In my playthrough, I gave her the Jesus, the Nair scroll, and the Dane scroll on a lot of her level ups there. So, yeah, if you do that, nothing, once again, can stop her. She'll be tanky enough to take out physical enemy troops, and she'll be more than tanky enough to tank enemy spellcasters. And yeah, she's got a movement growth of 3%, which is very nice when you couple her up with the Dane Scroller. She should gain a few move level ups. So yeah, that is Sara in a nutshell. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, she also actually supports up Salem here. I was gonna do that. I started leveling him up, but he died there in chapter 19. But yeah, the main point here is she gets support by Leif. But yeah, let's get back to the tier list. So yeah, let's see. I'm definitely gonna keep her in the Bounty Gaming tier here. She's not quite as good as somebody like, this man here. But she's pretty damn good. She has more utility than Galzus. But I still think I value him slightly higher. But it's hard to say. She might actually be higher than him. She actually might be. Like, it's so weird because, I want to say, in a 1v1, who would win? Well, Galzus, if he initiates combat, he's 100% gonna win unless he misses. But, I can't really use that argument either because, she can rewarp around on maps and just take out enemies very easily. He can't really do that. Sure, somebody like Sara can come up and warp him around. But, that point goes to Sara, not to him. But, yeah, I think I hold him in high regard. I'm gonna keep it like this. And holy crap, this video is gonna be so damn long. Strap yourselves in, viewers. This is gonna be a long one. I'm talking too damn much. Next up here, Hicks. Hicks is one of these guys that I would really like to promote and use seriously in one of my rounds. Me and my brother used him a little bit when we played through the game together, but I don't think we ever promoted him. Actually, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. But yeah, I do remember he's got an FCM of 2. He starts out with very high HP. He's got a lot of constitution, and if I remember correctly, his growths are pretty damn good. Like, he gets a lot of health, and, well, he maxes out in con very soon, too. And yeah, he gets support by Leif, I remember that much, too. 10%, which, once again, on a scrollless run, I would definitely like to try him out there. Try and see if I can't make use of him. Yeah, where do I want to put him? Like, see, here's the issue with this guy, right? I feel like he can't go up here in the S tier because, well, on indoor maps he can only use swords, and like there's nothing too special about him. Like, he doesn't have great movement, he doesn't have authority, he doesn't have action stars. He's got that FCM of 2, but that's about it. And as far as I know, his magic growth is not very good. However, on outdoor maps, like, yeah, he's definitely a good unit there. It's just on the indoor maps towards the end of the game, he's not gonna be very strong whatsoever. But I don't even know if I'm gonna... Yeah. Dude, this is actually getting a little bit weird here now. Do I actually want to put these two over Shiva? Like, sword is so damn useless in this game. Like, if you don't have the flame sword, like, and decent magic growths. Yeah. Unless you just want to nuke somebody. Then you're good to go, but... Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like this. Let's just go and look at Hicks and his growths here. Here we have him, Mr. Hicks. Yeah, he joins in at level 6 on chapter 6, so yeah, holy cow, he sure does have a lot of room to grow, and his bases are pretty damn good. Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to complain about here. His promotion is, well, mediocre. Yeah. It's such a shame that, like, this guy would be so much better if he could use axes on indoor maps, like when he was off his horse. Yeah, he would be crazy then. Crazy good. But an FCM of 2, high con. And yeah, okay, I thought his HP was at 90%, but it's at 80, which still is very high, but not as high as I thought. And yeah, his growths are decent, very low magic growth, so he's indeed not going to be able to use flame swords very well, unless you just pound him with all magic boosting scrolls. But yeah, he's an alright unit, but he's not S rank tier. But yeah, alright, he becomes a great knight. I think those are armored units, so I think he needs to watch out for hammers and, you know, armor-breaking weapons, But yeah, let's see. Let us see. We should probably put him... Like, on outdoor maps, he's great. On indoor maps, he's not so great. Very low movement. And I think he started with E rank in swords, which, yeah... that means you're gonna have to put a lot of effort into him. Like, if you're gonna use him, you're probably gonna need to put him in the arena. And you like dismount, put him in the arena, have Leif close to beef him up before he goes in, and also bring Nanna. Then he can train himself inside of there. But yeah, even then, there's always that risk that he dies. But is he more useful than Misha? I don't think so. Like, she's way better on the indoor maps towards the end of the game. Like with the flame sword, you know what? She's actually going to the top here. She has, well, extreme amounts of utility on outdoor maps, and on the indoor maps she can be a mage tank. Yeah, I don't think I want to put him above Shiva, though. I actually think he's a bit more useful. Yeah, but that's where he's going. Then Ronan. And yeah, I'm very excited to talk about the Ronan here. I have a whole lot of things to say about him. Ronan is probably going to go here above Tanya. It's actually very hard to say. Like, Ronan, I think he's a good unit, he's cool. He suffers some... well, he suffers in a lot of regards. Like, his strength and defense growths are abysmally small, and his HP growth is like at 45, 50%, whereas Tanya, I believe, is at 65. So, yeah, he's actually very squishy, but he's got very high magic growths, which means that as soon as you get the mutant scroll, if you just give that to him, like, well, perhaps couple it with the Baldur scroll, something else to boost him up, he can finally become a solid archer at the end of the game, and thanks to his high magic stat, he can run around with impunity. And here's another good thing about the Ronan. He actually starts out with an additional movement point that no other archers does. So, yeah, he's very quick, and he also comes with the added scroll. I mean, scroll with added skill. So, like, as soon as you get the Azul scroll and the Baldur, and once Ronan gets back, once you get out of the prison, you can definitely start leveling him up, try and get some strength points, some health, and if you do, well, that's also gonna help. And then later on in chapter 20, I actually forget. I think it's chapter 20 is where you get the mutant scroll. At that point, oh no, it's chapter 17 or 18, just whatever. Once you get the mutant, you gotta get it to him so he can max out the strength. But what? We're gonna check his stats. Okay, so here we go. Here we have Ronan, and as you can see, he joins on chapter 2 at level 1 with 3 action stars. That is actually very nice, and he also has got the adept skill. Multiple very nice factors for leveling him Ronan up here. Yeah, his health starts out at 20, that's okay. Decent strength, and a movement of 7. Yeah, that is very nice. He's actually starting out with the same movement as a promoted archer. Like, yeah, he starts out... Yeah, see here, he doesn't even get movement on promotion. So, yeah, he basically has the movement from the promotion right off the get-go here. That's very nice for him. Of course, that at the same time makes the promotion not as much fun, I guess. But, yeah. Decent guy overall. He's got higher constitution than Tanya, too. Yeah, I think she started out at 5 or 4, whereas this guy is at 7. So, he has a lot of good things going for him that Tanya doesn't. Of course, Tanya is much stronger in the early game without depending on scrolls. This guy definitely needs more effort, to get going. And, yeah, holy crap. HP growth of 40%, that's very low. High speed, high magic, high skill, and the 3% movement growth there. Yeah, I think I've spoken about that during my playthrough there, or my Let's Play. Con growth of 2%, that is abysmal. 5% defense. Yeah, you're definitely going to need to invest a lot of scrolls on him, but he can definitely be a very strong unit. Question is just, are people going to want to do that? But let's see. Yeah, I still think that I'm gonna put him here somewhere. Like, yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I think I'm actually gonna put Tanya above him. Like, here's the deal. The fact that she supports up with Orsin is very nice, and he supports her. So there is dual support going on, which is nice for utility, so that they can move around in a squad. It's a shame that Ronan only gets support from Leif there and not the other way around, but yeah, it still is nice for him, I guess. But yeah, I think that just because how easy it is to get Tanya going, I'm probably going to have to put her slightly higher up than Ronan, but once you get to the end game, I would put him above her because, yeah, once he's got his strength going and once he's got maxed out magic, which he gets very easily, well, I think it can be very nice to have then. But yeah, I'm going to put him here. And here we have Eyvel at the bottom of 8. Maybe I should put her here. Like, I think she has 7 magic when she joins in, so she can actually use Flame Sword decently well. Yeah, okay, yeah, Eyvel gets, nudged up a little bit there. Then, Leif. Leif is, in my opinion, one of the best units in the entire game. Not so much because of how he fights. Like, he's locked into swords, which isn't great. But he supports up more units in the game than anybody else does. And yeah, I hold that in very high regard. So I definitely am gonna put him up here somewhere. He's got an FCM of 2, 1 action star. He's got authority star. He gets the adept skill when he promotes. Yeah, Leif overall is pretty damn good. And believe it or don't, I actually really like this guy. I think he's a good unit. Like, for one, he has support from Nanna here, which, yeah, I've already spoken on, in length about that. Like, he supports her, she supports him, and that means he's gonna get 20% hit and avoidance and 10% crit and anti-crit, which yeah, makes him a great unit. I'm gonna have to put him very high up. That in combination that he supports up so many units, like he supports up Sara, he supports Tina, he supports, let's see here, he supports Finn, he supports, well, Dalsin here, maybe Karin, I forget now. He supports a lot of units in the whole damn game. Like, yeah, he supports Asbel, which we're gonna get to very soon here. So yeah, he's just a beacon, and if you give him the Kingmaker too, which I can't really give that, well, I can't give him extra bonus points because he can wield the Kingmaker. But yeah, my point is, since he has so many supports, if you give him the Kingmaker too, then he basically becomes a worse Nanna. Like, he can wander around and beef up people like Finn here by 20%, and yeah, characters like Linoan too, one of the other best units in the entire game. Yeah, she also gets support from him, so yeah, Leif is a very good unit, and if you get some magic points on him, he can actually, well, use Flame Swords too, but yeah. Let's have a quick look at his stats here. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna have a quick look at Leif here. Yeah, he does have authority stars, so he just doesn't start out with any. He gains some, well, once you get going into the game. And yeah, he's got a single action star and FCM of 2. His spaces aren't that great, but his growths are, well, decent. Like what you would expect of a lord here. And yeah, that's right. He's got a movement growth here of 3%. That's actually pretty damn nice. Sadly though, his promotion here is hella lame. I mean, just look at this. It's hella freaking lame. But yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. And actually, here is his authority star list, I believe. Yeah, but whatever. Let's see. Yeah, that skill, decent growths. Like, you can't really go wrong with him. 10% magic growth. That's actually not so good. Yeah, actually, he's gonna struggle to use flame swords in the end game unless you give him like the high scroll. But yeah, doesn't really matter. What I really care about here is all the support, and yeah, he's really good with the Kingmaker sword. And let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm gonna have to bring you back here. I could not find a support list on that previous site I was at, but yeah, here you go. All these characters here are characters that are supported up by Leif, so yeah, this is what I mean. Like, he gives a lot of different units, a lot of stats. Like, characters like Karin, one of the best cavalry units in the game, Nanna, Asbel, Safiya, Ronan, Finn, obviously, Olven even, Tina, Linoan, yeah, Sara, like, a lot of really strong units here get even stronger by being close to Leif, so yeah, like, it's a no-brainer as to why he should be high up in the S tier, if you ask me. So yeah, we're gonna stick him here. I do value him perhaps slightly lower than Finn though, yeah, but yeah, slightly higher than Mareeta. Yeah, I think he's good here. Yeah, Finn is a little bit too solid. So that's where he goes. And then Asbel. Asbel, I'm not really sure. Like, in my playthrough, he was definitely a boon, like, to our troop. But I don't know where to put him here. There are a few things here with him. He gains support from Leif, which is hella strong. And he has to get off caliber. He's got a FCM of 5, I want to say, right? And his growths aren't bad either. Like, he's even got high health growth, which is, well, kind of rare for mages. Like, not as high as Homer's, but still very good. And he also has the Sage promotion there, which, yeah, pretty much solidifies him as a very high ranking unit. However, he has the same issues as Homer here, where once he promotes, he starts out with staves at D rank, which means that, yeah, you're gonna have to put in a lot of effort. Effort. Yeah, I think I got it right there. You're gonna have to put in a lot of effort with him if you want him to be able to rewarp around. Like, if he can start rewarping around, he's definitely very strong. Like, yeah, I want to put him here. He's definitely up in the bump to gaming tier. Like, yeah, that's one of my main like regrets, I guess you could say, in my playthrough, is that I never leveled up staves properly on both Asbel or Nanna. Like, if you just do that, like if I had just sat down and grinded staves, they would have been incredibly solid. Like, she would probably be here then if she could also warp around. But yeah, but like, let's just assume that you reach A rank in staves on these two. Well, they're incredibly nice. And Asbel, not only does he get support from Leif, but at the very end of the game, Zed here supports him up too. Like, in case you pick Zed instead of Saias, yeah, then Asbel is gonna be ridiculously strong. If he has Zed, yeah, he might actually go up even higher here in the tier. But yeah, let's have a quick look at him. So here, let's see. As I mentioned, he has the Sage promotion here, which is incredibly nice for Asbel. He gains movement, he gains access to staves, lots of weapon experience. And yeah, apparently he starts with the adept skill. Yeah, I forgot about that. And oh, he quote unquote only has an FCM of 3, but yeah. So here's the nice thing about Asbel 2. If you just level him up with Thunder Tomes from the very get-go, he can very easily use long-range Siege Tomes later on in the game. Yeah, I had both A rank in Wind and Thunder Tomes on my Asbel in my playthrough, so he was very, very strong in the end game. Like, yeah, and I had a few Blizzard Tomes putting enemies to sleep with Asbel, and thanks to the fact that he gets support from Leif, he's very likely to hit, like, even on chapters like chapter 22, when you have to face off against Saias and Reinhardt with all the authority stars there. Like, if you have Dermott, Nanna, and Leif to support Asbel up here, he's not gonna miss, even with all those enemy generals increasing their troops avoidance. So yeah, he's got a lot of utility. If you train up the staves on him, like, he becomes a god essentially. His growths... Okay, I thought he was at 65 health growth. It was slower than I thought. But yeah, his growths are pretty good. I wouldn't be too bothered about magic skill or speed, like, whatsoever. The only growths that matters on this little guy here is HP and defense. Because, yeah, magic skill and speed, like, look here, he gets so much of it when he promotes, so... Yeah, just get some health and defense boosting scrolls on him, and he'll be good to go, like, by the time you get to the end game. If he had more action stars, I would definitely consider him one of the strongest units in the entire game. But, yeah, I mean, he already is, but he would have been top 2, like, for sure. And the get off caliber, like, yeah, really boosts him up into the tiers there, too. Yeah, we're definitely gonna put him up here. Yeah, I think he's good there. I don't want to put him above Nanna. I think she's slightly stronger than him. He's better at dealing damage, but she's better at buffing. But she's better at capturing enemy units. Like, they have different types of utility. Like, they can both be beasts with staves. Of course, he's gonna have higher magic, or an easier time maxing out in magic. But yeah, as I just said, she can more easily catch or capture enemy units, and she has the Earth Sword, which, well, pretty much makes her unkillable. Asbel still can die, you know, if he gets hit too often. But yeah, they're good for different reasons. But yeah, Zed 2 goes up here in the high tiers. Like, yeah, let's put him there. In all honesty, I do think that Sara is just as good as him at clearing out, or if not even better, at clearing out regular enemies. Like, this guy is only up here because of his unique tome that he comes with, the Forseti. So yeah, when you consider all of that and you factor in the fact that he has 2 action stars and 1 authority star, like he becomes a freaking beast and an FCM of 3. Let's not forget about that. Yeah, like his base stats aren't the best, but I mean, with the Forsetti tome, like he can't be stopped, and like he joined so late that you shouldn't be worried about using up the entire book there. Like, yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that, like having to equip regular tomes. You could do it if you're gonna, well, beat a lot of regular enemies. But yeah, so here's another, well, solid point with this guy. He can use the Nosferatu tome, I believe, right off the bat. And yeah, he's got a staff rank of A, which, yeah, when he joins, he can just rewarp around, kick anyone's ass. He's just, yeah, incredibly strong. And yeah, he also has good growths, so there is like no reason not to use him once he joins in. Just level him up. Like, if you don't want to waste too much of the first city, just level him up using staves there, yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to put him up here. He might actually, like, yeah, I don't know. He's so freaking powerful. He really is. If he unequips the first city, then he falls behind. Like, then he's down here somewhere. But with the first city, for sure, he's up here. And, you know, the authority starts. There's just too much going on for him. He doesn't get support from any other one. Okay, yeah, I just went and checked. He does not get support from anyone, but he does support up Karin, Makka, and Asbel there. So, yeah, that's very nice. But overall, I think I want to put him up here. He's incredibly strong. He can pretty much beat anyone in the entire game. He can rewarp around, use any staff in the game. He doesn't... Yeah. And like, see, especially considering there are only indoor maps when he joins, he might actually go beyond Nanna here. Yeah. Her utility drops on indoor maps since she is not on her horse. She's still incredibly strong. But yeah, okay, I think I'm just going to put Zed up here. Like, with the Forsetti tome on, I think he's at the second place there in tiers. Like, he might actually be better than Galzus here. But then we get into a bunch of what-if situations. Like, if he's supported up by Mareeta when they fight, and who gets to initiate combat, yeah. He might, yeah, once again with the Forsetti tome, he might actually be stronger than Galzus. I think Galzus is gonna struggle so much to hit him. And he has high utility with staves, yeah. Oh my god. I might actually put Zed at the top there. Yeah, it's a little bit boring, but I'm gonna put him there. Then, next up, Amalda. Amalda, during my Let's Play here, it was the first time I used her, and I gotta say, she is a lot better than I ever thought she could have been. Like, she starts out with A rank in swords, and she starts out with C rank in staves, so she's a really solid unit, and she has decent magic stat, and, you know, okay magic growth, so, you know, she can use flame swords at the very end of the game if you so desire to fight with her, but I would just give the flame swords to other units who needs them more instead. Like, she's perfectly adequate to just run around and heal. And yeah, I think I mentioned it, but she does have an authority star too, and she has an FCM of 2, I want to say it was. Like, she's very good, she has a lot of utility. There is a few things holding her back though. She does not have support with anyone. Like, she doesn't give any, she doesn't receive any. If I were to make some changes here to this game, like if I got to rebalance it, like, I would definitely make it so that her and Schroff gave each other 10% support, and maybe she could even have gained 10%, well, perhaps not from Leif, yeah, he already has enough there. It would be a little bit too crazy, perhaps, but yeah, her and Schroff at the very least. I think that since they were in the same church there, maybe they're not all that, well, into each other. I actually am not too sure about the lore here, but yeah, she's a incredibly solid fighter. She has a lot of movement on outdoor maps, and she's actually very usable on indoor maps too, thanks to the fact that, well, she's very adept at using staves, so, yeah. I want to put her pretty damn high up. I think I'm gonna put her perhaps below Safiya and below Marty here. Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let her be here. She's a solid healer. She can do some fighting. She can crowd control. And do some decent healing. Yeah, she's an alright unit. She definitely is. Let's check her out here. Okay, here we have her. Yeah, she joins in chapter 19 when you talk to her with Sleuth or Schroff. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention she has an action star. An action star and an authority star. FCM of 2. And as you can see, her base stats are pretty good. Like, she starts out with 13 magic. That is incredibly nice. I thought it was lower, but, that kind of makes me want to nudge her up a little bit in the tiers. And yeah, she also has the Adept's skill. She's quite solid at fighting. Yeah, let's see. And yeah, her growths are slightly better than Nanna's. I think Nanna was like at a 10% magic growth, whereas Amalda here is at 15. Amalda has way higher health growth than somebody like Nanna. Like, see here, this is the deal. Like, and then you would probably say, well, you know, sure, but Nanna has the Charm Aura skill there. Yes, that is true, which boosts allied units by 10%, but that's only for allies close to her. Amalda boosts everyone on the map on your side by 3%, which in a sense is almost, well, pretty much the same as having the Charm Aura skill there, you know. It's just not as concentrated. And I'm sorry, I nudged the screen there, but yeah. She's really good. She becomes quite tanky. Yeah, she sort of crit. She's just a fantastic unit all around. Heck, she even has 15% constitution growth here too, yeah. So, I really like her. I did not think she would be as good as she was when I started out the playthrough, but hey, she opened my eyes here. I don't think she's going to be all that good on a scroll-less run, though, but even so, I mean, even though she doesn't have support rate anyone, so she can very easily be crit, as long as I just keep her far back, she can always be very nice to have, just for the authority star alone there, and the fact that she can use staves so very well. So, yeah, let's see. If you factor in the flame sword, authority, you know, yeah. I'm not so sure if I'm ready to put her ahead of somebody like Marty. Like, he's also faster than her on indoor maps. Yeah, I'm gonna put her here. I bumped her up a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna be happy with that. Then Schroff. And yeah, I'm gonna need to make another break here. Holy crap, this is probably gonna go on for another hour or so. Jesus H. Christ. But here we go. Schroff. Schroff is another unit that I have been underestimating in my past playthroughs. Like, he is very squishy, very much like Safiya. But very much like her, he also has very high magic and skill growth, so he becomes a very solid staff user very early on. And when he joins, he also has staff developed all the way to A rank, so yeah, he's really good. I almost want to put him, above these. Maybe not above here, but I definitely think he belongs here at the very least. Like, he can start using silence staffs or stays right off the bat. He can put people to sleep. He heals well thanks to his high magic. He doesn't have support or any of that, but as far as utility goes, he's great. And as far as fighting goes, he is kind of bad. So here, let's have a quick look at him. Yeah. I honestly forgot about this. Yeah, he also has 3 action stars. His promotion isn't anything too special, like he's already maxed out in staves. Him getting access to weapons there or to the light tome isn't, anything that I even care about. Like, I just want to fill his entire, inventory with staves there. No damn books. But yeah, look at this. He's level 6, he joins at chapter 15, and he's got 11 magic and 12 skill. That is incredibly nice. And yeah, sure, he dies in one hit, but he shouldn't be hit. His growths are abysmal, but you know, magic and skill, those are the stats that matter here. Yeah, he's got decent growths there. Yeah, he's all right at what he does. Just don't expect him to do too much fighting unless you plan on doing some serious scroll abusing on him. So yeah, there we have it. There we have Schroff. I think I'm gonna keep him here. I want to put him above these two, but yeah, this lady, she has more utility. I think she's slightly better. Yeah, Karin is really good at fighting. Yeah, a lot of utility and all of that. Yeah, he's very high ranking, but I'm gonna keep him at the bottom here of the S tier. And yeah, let's do one more character here. Let's do Troude. Troude died on my playthrough here on chapter 21. He's got an FCM of 1. But he's got some good things going for him. I do know that he gets support by Pawn. I think that's the only one he gets support from. But as long as Pawn or Perne here is close to him, he gets quite a bit better. His growths are quite strong, and it comes with the Nihil skill. Obviously, though, like he's weighed back by the fact that he only can use swords. So yeah, I'm gonna put him above Eyvel here in the A tier. But I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put him behind Hicks here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Troude. Yeah, once he promotes, he gets the Adept skill. That's a fair point for him. That's really nice. He's got a magic of 0, a magic growth of 5%. So yeah, he's struggling in the end game there to hit mages properly. He can take out one mage at a time very easily, sure. But yeah, he's also gonna be very squishy towards them. But yeah, like it's a decent unit. There isn't really a whole lot else to say. He joins with decent base stats. He gets supported up by Perne, which is nice. Yeah, these growths, as you can see, they are definitely good. Very high health growth. And very high defense and constitution. Yeah, strength, skill, speed, and luck. All of this doesn't matter. He's very easily going to max those out. So yeah, the fact that he's got high HP and defense is very nice. He can get going and just, well, even tank physical damage dealers in the game. So yeah, if you put some effort into him, he can actually become a really solid fighter. But alas, even so, utility-wise, I think people like Hicks is higher up than him. But Troude, well, at the same time, it's hard to say. Actually, I might actually put Troude up a little bit here because, well, on indoor maps, like on maps where you want to bring him, thanks to his high constitution, he can be a very solid unit to capture enemy soldiers with. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have him right here. He's not quite as good as Shiva or Misha. Like, these two can just slay enemies better than him. And they also have decent constitution. Like, not her so much, but on outdoor maps, you know, she's super good. And on indoor maps, sure, she can't capture enemy units, but yeah, if you give her a flame sword, which I don't see why you wouldn't, then she becomes a freaking beast. But yeah. And you know what? One more character, Salem. Salem is a character I've definitely been undervaluing too. Like, across all my playthroughs, I never really looked this way. I honestly forgot, or I've forgotten in the past, that he actually has the staff skill. Like, even though you clearly see him use the sleep staff, you know, when you face him for the very first time on Chapter 11 there on the Fog of War map. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that as a beginner at this game. And yeah, heck, even on this playthrough, I didn't realize how good he is until Chapter 19 there, or but slightly before that. But then he finally died on Chapter 19. So yeah, he doesn't have any action stars. He doesn't have authority, but he begins with staff rank of C. I want to say we're gonna have a look at it here in a second. Yeah, he's also the only character I believe that can use dark tomes on your entire squad here. Which, yeah, I don't particularly care for dark tomes. They weigh so damn much. I think they are, well, very poor quality weapon there. But yeah, where do we want to put him? I can only imagine. Hold on, let's have a quick look at him. Okay, so here we have Salem, and I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised here. I honestly did not know about this here. Look at his promotions when he gets to be a Dark Mage. 4 defense. He pretty much has the same bonuses as the Sage class there. Like, obviously, he doesn't get as much magic, skill, and speed, but does that matter all that much, I wonder? He gets a lot of physical defense. That's what matters in my mind. And yeah, as I thought, or as I knew, he has support by Sara, and I also expected him to have support from Perne here. So yeah, potentially he can be very strong actually for fighting. Yeah, and you know, if you don't like dark tones, you can just pivot and go for, well, thunder or fire or wind tones. Like, yeah, you would probably want to go with wind if you want to use blizzard tones on him later. Yeah, you get plenty of those, so I think it's well worth it. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, and they also get plus 50 weapon experience when he promotes. Holy crap. I mean, staff weapon experience. Yeah, that's super nice too. He's got a lot of good things going for him. I might actually need to bump him up into the S tier. Perhaps even slightly higher than Schroff. He joined sooner than Schroff. He's got decent bases. He sure does. An FCM of 1. Yeah, low luck. But let's see here. Oh wow, only a luck growth of 10. He's gonna need the Brage scroll. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Yeah, the Brage scroll would be very nice on this guy because it boosts luck by 30% and magic growth by 10. Although I think it also reduces physical defense growth by 10%, so that would be a bummer. But yeah, still would be decent, I would say. But yeah, let's see here. Max HP 60% growth, decent growth in magic, skill, speed. Yeah, you know, overall a pretty damn good unit here. If you train him up, which you should have no issues doing. Like, I just started training him way too late. Yeah. If you train him up from the beginning, he can definitely become a very solid guy there. But yeah, he doesn't get any skills on promotion. That's a slight bummer there. But yeah, even so, really strong guy. So yeah, here's what I'm gonna have to say about him. He's a good unit. I'm gonna put him ahead of Schroff here. Like, if you get him going, which you should have no issues getting him going, like with staves, and he can rewarp around and well, fight enemy units. Like, with his high defense, he should be able to, well, fight decently, you know. Not as well as somebody like Sara or Asbel. Like, he can't just crit enemies on repeat. Thanks to his low FCM, but he's got decent health and physical defense growth, so yeah, I can definitely see him doing some decent work out there. But yeah, on the lower spectrum of S rank here is where I want to put him. Yeah, let's have him right there. Then Perne. Perne, obviously, well, the best thief in the game. I don't even really know where to put him. He's got support, not scrolls. Yeah, he's got support with Lada here. He's got support. Well, I think he only gets support from her. He gives support to a bunch of people, but he only gains from Lada. Yeah. Like, he's decent at fighting. He's never a pro at it. Like, yeah, but he also has the steal command, so I want to put him above somebody like Shiva here, you know. 5 action stars, he can steal, he can fight decently well, not as well as Shiva or Troude here. Yeah, these guys will have better growths, you know, and eventually be able to overpower him, but, well, then again, he also got an FCM of 5. Yeah, this guy is so strong, actually. Like, at the very least, I gotta put him here. Like, I really value staff users very high, and if you can't attack back with your physical weapon, like Marty can, then I can't, yeah, like, being able to steal is all well and good, but he can't fight as well as somebody like Marty on later maps, I don't think. Like, the Master X is just too good, and Hand X is too, for that matter. Like, yeah. And he's also very squishy. Like, you really gotta invest in him with scrolls, obviously. If you do, and get his magic up and going, then I'm sure he can be super solid with the flame sword and heck, even to deal with regular guys. But yeah, let's have a look at him. Here we have him, Pawnee, or Pawn. Yeah, he supports up Lara, Salem, and Troude, and he's supported by Lara. So yeah, and yeah, his base stats aren't very good for a level 3 promoted thief, but that doesn't really matter. He's got an FCM of 5, a movement of 7, 5 action stars, sadly no authority stars, but yeah, and yeah, he joins with a lot of skills here. The soul and the advantage skill, obviously he gets charm from the king sword there, but yeah, he's a really good unit, and his growths are really good too. Like, if you give this man like 2 or 3 scrolls and just stick them on him for the majority of the game, well, he's gonna be incredibly strong. I never did that on my playthrough. I kind of just leveled him up, well, regular, like, I gave him a few scroll level ups here and there. I believe he had around 30 health at the end game. I didn't really fight too much with him. I just used him to steal, and yeah, I ended up at like 11 or 12 con, something like that. But yeah, like, he's a decent thief. He can kill enemies if he has to, and he can steal very easily thanks to his high constitution, and like with the action stars here, which can proc, like, yeah, he's a good thief. So yeah, I don't think he has as high utility as staff users here. Putting him this low down in the S tier might upset someone, but I really think he should be here. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of feels weird that Mareeta is here above freaking Marty, though. Yeah, well, once again, like, she supports up this guy by 20%. That's why she's so high up, and you know, if she has the Adept, Astra, and Luna skill, she's a freaking beast. You know, she too, very much like Pawn, maxed out in FCM, so she's a better fighter than him. Yeah. But it's hard. It's really hard. I think I'm gonna keep Marty here. Damn, dude. Yeah, I might be completely wrong about Pawn here. But yeah, I'm gonna put him right here. He's got decent utility, being able to steal, and he's a decent fighter too, a really strong one actually. But yeah, he's very squishy, so he can't get hurt too much. But yeah, lower spectrum of the S tier. Characters like Salem and, well, Schroff here. Well, actually, I'm probably gonna do this. Yeah, Schroff can't fight very well. He has a lot of utility. Yeah, I'm gonna put Pawn ahead of him, but characters like Salem, like, once he gets to rewarp around, and, you know, as you saw, he has decent growth, so he will be able to fight, and yeah, he can also, well, use utility, or, well, he has a lot of utility by healing and crowd controlling. Yeah, he's a hidden gem here, I would say. And yeah, let's do... Well, actually, I'm gonna have a break here, and then I'll come back. This has been a lot of fun, but dude, there is so much to talk about here and so much to explain, and I can't believe how many people are in the S tier. There are a lot of strong units in this game, and a lot of very strong guys too. Like, when I did a tier list of Fire Emblem 6, I only had like 1 or 2, or maybe it was 3. I don't remember. I only had a couple of people up in the highest tier, but here, yeah, we already have 5 people up here, and there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 more, I want to say, up here, just glancing over here. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take a short break, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so let's just keep on going here. Next up we have Glade, and where do we put this man? He's an excellent unit on outdoor maps. He's not as good on indoor maps, but he's okay as long as you train up his sword fighting. I think I would rate him slightly higher than Dalsin and Fergus here. Not so much in his killing potential, but he is a very solid tank. And he has good growths too for being a pre-promoted unit. Yeah, I believe he's a Duke Knight. But yeah, Glade here, as long as you play with Selphina, anyways, I think he belongs in this spot in the S tier. If you don't support him up with Tina, he would probably go down into the A tier, just FYI. But yeah, in my playthrough, like, yeah, as you saw there, I used Selphina. She boosts him by 20% from support, which is incredibly strong. Like, the enemy really struggles to hit him, and he becomes quite good with javelins. Like, he can pretty much tank most enemy units out there in the game with impunity, and like, even if he does get hit, he also has, well, a solid amount of physical defense to fall back on. The major issues with this man, however, is how annoying it is to train up his sword fighting. He starts at E rank in swords, I believe, and like at C or B rank in spears or lances, which is fine. But yeah, he struggles at the end of the game unless you train him up. And yeah, he doesn't really have any magic growth to speak of. So yeah, once you get to the end game, he's a lot weaker, but in the mid game, he's super tanky, super reliable, and he's a lot of fun to use. Here we are. As you can see, he is a solid unit. He actually starts at A rank in lances, so way better than I thought. But I really wish that the game devs had bumped his sword fighting up to C rank. At the very least D rank, because it is super tough to grind up his sword fighting. Like, you could put him in the arena, I guess, with Selphina supporting him up, and he could just dismount and go in there and train all the way up to a decent rank. But like, that's not a whole lot of fun. For one, it's pretty much free to do that, and secondly, since he's a Duke Knight, he will face off against promoted enemies in there, and they will level up super quickly, and he'll probably cap out like in levels before he's even maxed sword fighting, which, that essentially takes away all the challenge in the game. Like, I don't know, I don't think that's a very good solution to it, but you could do it, I guess. But yeah, just whatever, I guess. For his stats, he comes with 34 health at level 2, which is good. Decent strength, decent skill, high movement because he's a Duke Knight, and decent speed, defense good. Yeah, like, all stats are good. The only thing you can complain about here is his low luck, magic, and FCM, I guess. But yeah, let's see. I mean, just look at this. His growths are very good for a pre-promoted unit. I can't stress that enough. His health is a little bit shaky, I guess, and his magic too, but everything is just above board here. And 15% constitution, more than good enough since he starts at 12. Yeah, really good unit. And most importantly here, look at his support. If you want to use Alba or Alva, Cain, Robert, or Selphina, he supports up all of them by 10%. So yeah, he's just a beacon here, like a mini Leif. So yeah, I think that we need to place him up at the very least in the bottom of the S tier. If he could use lances on the indoor maps, he would be way higher in the tier. So yeah, he goes right here, I think. I don't think it gives you more utility than all these characters above him, but he's good at what he does. That's really all I can say. And holy crap, dude, we have so many in the S rank. This is just comical almost. Next up, Selphina. Yeah, I'll probably... I was gonna put her up in the S rank. I think I almost am putting too many here. Like, Selphina is a weird one because she supports up, well, here's the deal. She gets support by Leif, she gets support by Glade, 10% from each, and I think that's about it. She doesn't get support by anyone else, but she's supported by those two. So if you want to use her, she's not a bad character. Obviously, the bow weapon type isn't all that great. Imagine if Selphina could use swords as well, like on horseback. She could shift in between. That would be cool. But maybe I'll put her down here in the A tier at the top. I mean, it's hard. It's so freaking hard. Like, I only value her as high as I do, not because of herself, but because of how much she boosts character like Glade here, and she also boosts up Cain, Karin, Alba, Robert. Yeah, so she boosts she boosts allied units by a lot. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering here so much. I want to put her high up in the ranks, but I don't know if I can put her up in the S rank here. That might be a little bit too high. Yeah, because she's not that good at fighting. Like, she's alright at it. As you saw there at my... Yeah, well, at the end of my playthrough there, she had 111 wins, I believe. I fought with her a lot. So, yeah, I don't know what point I'm trying to make it. I'm just gonna let her be right here. She's got loads of good support. She's just a little bit lacking in, well, stat growths. That's about it. Okay, so yeah, I brought up her stats here, and as you can see, Selphina grants a lot of support to different units, which is why I want to rate her as high as I do. And she also gets support from Glade and Leif, which is very nice. Yeah, there are a few things to touch on here. First of all, her bases are, well, not great for level 8, let's be honest here. She comes with the Accost skill. She starts out with B rank in bows, and her promotion isn't all that bad in all honesty. It's a decent one. And yeah, the thing here with this character is the Accost skill. Like, yeah, it's a blessing and a curse type of skill. Like, for a archer knight like Selphina, it can be very nice, because if and when she moves up and takes a shot at an enemy unit, she can shoot up to 4 times, potentially, like, if she doesn't miss anyways, right? So, yeah, as long as she has more health and attack speed, Accost will proc. So, there has been a few times there in my Let's Play where, well, when the Accost came into play there, like, the extra damage from it can be very nice as long as the enemy doesn't hit back at you. Now, vice versa, like, she has to be very careful around Ballista. Yeah, she needs to be careful around Ballista there with the Accost skill, because once she gets going with health, like once she has more health than them, they will start shooting twice. But you can counter this by just having her close to Glade and Leif. Yeah, the thing with Selphina is she has good skill and speed and luck growths. Let's have a quick look here. Actually, her speed was not that impressive, but yeah, those are her main growths anyway. Enemies will struggle to hit her once you level her up. So, yeah, you're just gonna have to play very careful with her if you do decide to use her. But I actually thought she was a pretty good unit. You're also gonna need to invest a few scrolls on her so that she gets, well, more strength and health, stuff of that nature. It's very important that you get her up above 30 health in the early game so that you can proc Accost at all, because most enemies will actually have more health than her. But yeah, once she has more health than the enemies, you can just run up and she will be an automatic delete button, especially like especially if allies such as Glade and Leif are in front of her, then she can run up, proc Accost and kill something, then run back a few screens and just make sure she always support up Glade too. That's like her strategy there, like hit and run tactics, if you will. But yeah, there you go. So yeah, with that said, I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and bump her up here. This might seem trolly, but I think she actually belongs higher up in the tier list. Like, yeah, sure, her growths are, well, crummy, but if you just give her the Jesus scroll and perhaps the Balder, she doesn't need many scrolls to excel, but a few scrolls that will boost her health and strength a little bit, then she can start dealing some good damage, and, she is supported up by Glade by 10%, she's supported up by Leif by 10%, and heck, she gives 20% to Glade and 10% to, well, Karin, Cain Alba, Robert, all of that good stuff. So, like, if you build up a good wall, she can just run out, strike somebody down with the Accost skill, and run back behind allied units. So, like, I really like her. I think she's an underestimated unit, but I can't put her higher up than the bottom of the S tier here. Like, she's right on the edge, man. I honestly could even put her down here. Yeah, but... I mean, heck, even on indoor maps, she isn't all that bad, honestly. Yeah, as long as Glade is there to help her out. But, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put her down here. Top of the A rank. Yeah, that's where she belongs. Yeah, once again, on outdoor maps, I think she's up here. But, yeah, she loses some value on indoor maps there, since she's not as quick or has as much utility. Okay, so, yeah, I'm just gonna have to make a weird little cut there, but, yeah, here, Saias, next up. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of the Bounty Gaming tier. He's not as good, well, perhaps not even nearly as good as any of these, I don't think, But in terms of utility, if you strictly speak utility, he's the best character probably in the entire game. He joins with maxed out staff rank, right? He's got 3 action stars, which is nice. And he also has 3 authority stars, which means he boosts all your allies by 9%. Yeah, in my Let's Play here, I used him for the very first time. And I gotta say, on Chapter 24, on Chapter 25, rather, it was really nice to have him. Well, on 24x2, I think I used him then. Yeah, I used him on both endgame maps there. But yeah, the authority star he brings is really nice, and it's also very nice to have yet another super strong staff user there. Like, obviously he can't fight nearly as good as somebody like Zed, but he does offer more utility, once again. Okay, here we have him. So yeah, he joins at level 12, 3 action stars and 3 authority stars. Yeah, he even has the Nihil skill for some reason. Yeah, you could, I guess, level him up a little bit so that he can fight, but yeah, I wouldn't even bother with that. His base stats are not great, but high magic, high skill, those are really the only stats that matter here. And he's got an FCM of 0, I think. Yeah, look at that. But yeah, his growths too, not very impressive, but once again, that doesn't really matter. He joins with a bunch of authority. He joins with maxed out staff rank, which, yeah, there you go. A really solid unit utility-wise. If it weren't for the 3 authority stars, obviously, well, yeah, I would not have him up in the Bounty Gaming rank, but he is really good. A very solid unit. Can't go wrong with picking him. Like, if you have plenty of strong fighters, I would say you should probably go with Saias, but if you lost a lot of good units throughout the game, go with Zed instead. He can pick up some slack there in the fighting department. So yeah, there you go. Both Saias and Zed here, like, whichever you pick on, well, at the end of Chapter 23, like, you can't really go wrong. I think Zed is technically a little bit better, but Saias is very nice, especially if you have a lot of fighters there on hand already, as I just mentioned. So yeah, that's my verdict on him. Then Karin. Karin died on Chapter 11 for me in the Ballista. Yeah, well, on the Ballista chapter there, in Fortundrum, I believe it's called, yeah. Yeah, Karin is a very nice cav. And I'm not sure where to put him, honestly. He definitely belongs in the S rank. He's got a high amount of FCM. I think he's got an action star too. And he can use both swords and lances on horseback, which is very solid, I gotta say. He's, well, probably one of the best, if not the best, cavalry unit on outdoor maps. Actually, let's go ahead and look at him here. Yeah, here we go. Karin promotes into a paladin. Gets a bunch of sword expertise on promotion. Okay stat growths here, or promotion growths. And yeah, he's supported up by Leif and Selphina. So yeah, he's got a lot of potential here, this man. Yeah. And his bases are nothing to scoff at either. Like, obviously, by Chapter 8, these are a little bit on the low side. But let's see here. Yeah, his growths are very nice. Like, high health, or well, slightly above average health. High strength, very high skill. Speed and luck, defense, constitution. Yeah, see, all his growths are good. Like, I don't really think anyone would have any kind of issues leveling this guy up. He is super good. Like, I'm a little bit bummed out I lost him. Like, yeah, see, even an FCM of 4. Like, if he has both Leif and Selphina around him, there is, like, no way he doesn't crit on the follow-up attack, even with just regular weaponry. It's just gonna be disgusting. Yeah, 20% crit times 4, plus whatever skill he has. Yeah, really solid unit. Imagine sticking a Master Lance on this guy on outdoor maps. He's just gonna go to town. What the heck? So yeah, I think I'm just gonna let him be right here. He's very strong. Like, he certainly is dealing more damage than somebody like Finn, but yeah, Finn with the Master Lance on outdoor maps, I mean, that weapon just is too good. Like, yeah, I don't think, even as strong as Karin is, that he can be more useful than this man here. just because of that reason alone, and also the authority starter, and the fact that he supports up with both Leif and Nanna there too. Like, there's just too much utility going on here. But yeah, Karin, super solid unit. He can be really good on indoor maps too. It's just that, once again, I keep harping on this, but at the very end of the game, he's gonna struggle in chapter 24x and 25. Like, even if you do level up swords, like, swords aren't the best weapon type exactly. Yeah, I think Karin is overall better than him, like, both on outdoor maps and once you get to the end game indoor maps too. Since there are a lot of mages there, he falls off at that point. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm happy like that. Then, next up, we have Cain and Alba here. These two I am not sure whatsoever where to rank. Like, Cain I don't have enough experience with, but I do know he has extremely good growths and a lot of support here too. But no FCM, no action star, none of that, other than like his good growths. He's just a regular unit, but a very solid one. Like, you can't go wrong leveling him up. Absolutely not. Yeah, he might actually be... Yeah, he might be here somewhere. Yeah, he does have lances on outdoor maps. Characters like Fergus here doesn't. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna put Alba in the exact same spot. Like, these two are essentially the same unit. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at Cain here. Okay, here we are. Cain joins at chapter 9. He's level 2. And for a level 2 cavalry knight, or lance knight rather, his stats are impeccable. Lots of health, decent stats. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this guy whatsoever. And yeah, he joins with a sword rank of E. I remember that's why I picked Alba, because he joins in with D rank in staves and E rank in lances instead. Yeah, he's a little bit easier to train up. His promotion is alright. And yeah, he's supported up by Glade and Selphina, so very nice. Like, whenever we do a scrollless run of this game, I'm probably gonna pick, well, all 4 of them, like Cain, Alba, Glade, and Selphina. The main reason for that is, well, since they will just be a ball of support, like, they will be immune to crits when you don't have scrolls. That is a very good troop to have. So yeah, I think it's pretty much a shoe in there. But yeah, look at this growth. Not bad. High health, high strength, very high strength. Good constitution, good defense, good luck, speed and skill. Yeah, everything is just solid. With the exception of magic, but yeah. So, yeah, can't go wrong with this guy. And then here we have Alba. Yeah, he's got slightly lower health than Cain. He's a little bit weaker in terms of strength and defense too, I believe. But he has higher speed. Cain started at 6, Alba here starts at 9. And yeah, as I said there, a sword rank of D and E in lances. Yeah, he's a lot easier to get going. And the biggest perk of both Alba and Cain is, since they do have supports with both Glade and Selphina, like 20% hit, avoidance, crit, anti-crit, they both are extremely easy to level up inside of the arena, as long as Glade and Selphina are standing outside there beefing them up. Like, they will crit most of the times in there, and they can, they can't be crit either from enemy wind mages or Jörmungand tombs, stuff like that. Like, yeah, super good units for that too if you just want to grind money. And heck, you could even bring Nanna to further boost them up. But yeah, let's have a quick look at this man too in his growths. Yeah, slightly lower strength and HP than Cain, but skill and speed, luck, stuff like that is slightly higher. And yeah, 5% lower defense, I want to say, but 5% higher constitution on this man. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, pretty much the same units here. They are very similar. And yeah, he's got 1 constitution lower, but that's no big deal. Cain and Alba, super good units. Heck, you don't even need to put scrolls on them. They will flourish on their own. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about them. They are pretty much as good as Glade. The only reason I like Glade slightly better is that he gets 20% from the 1 unit from Selphina. Like, these two, well, their support is split up. So, yeah, it's slightly easier to stack this guy up here. But yeah, all three of them really good units. That's really all I have to say. And here we go, yet another archer unit. Mr. Robert. Robert is probably gonna go slightly above Selphina here. The thing with this man is he's got the highest FCM of any archer in the game. I believe he's at 3. And he's got a mount to ride around on. He's he's got a lot of support too. Like, he is solid. He's a really freaking solid unit. And here we have Robert. He even has a action starter. I forgot about that. And yeah, as I said, an FCM of 3. Decent stats, for a level 1 Archer Knight. He's not bad. Decent health. Decent speed. Somewhat tanky too. Yeah, he's alright, Let's have a quick look at his growths here. And yeah, there is really nothing to scoff at here either. Like, yeah, decent health, strength is good, skill and speed. Yeah, he will very quickly get going, dealing damage. And heck, he's got a lot of luck too, so yeah, once he gets maxed out in speed and luck, enemies will struggle to hit him, and even if they do, he should have gained, at least 12 defense by the time you hit the mid to end game there. Like, yeah, he's a solid unit. Yeah, a con growth of 20%, and yeah, the aforementioned support there from Glade and Selphina. Like, yeah, he's really good. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna put him here at the top of the A rank. Yeah. Like, Selphina. Actually, I will put Selphina up here. She supports more people. I mean, he doesn't support anyone, but yeah, he obviously is better at dealing damage than her most of the time, thanks to his FCM. But at the same time, she has that cost skill. Yeah, you can't, dismiss that either. Of course, she has better growths, but yeah, with all her utility, I think she's slightly better than Robert. Yeah, so that's how I'm gonna rank him. Then, next up, Linoan here. Where do we place you? Probably, here in the bottom of the Bounty Gaming rank. Very much like Linoan. Like, Sara and Linoan are very similar. Sara has the Wrath skill. Linoan has an FCM of 5, so she's better at instigating fights, I guess, you could say. Whereas Sara relies more on luring enemies coming to her. I also recall Linoan having roughly 10% higher health growth, which is very nice. When you try to get her up there in health with the Azul Scroll, like 10% makes a big difference. So yeah, there you go. Now, as for whom of them is better, like, Sara has the Paragon skill, so she just escalates very quickly. Linoan takes a little bit more effort, but even then, she levels up very fast too. We're gonna have to go and take a look at her. Alright, here we have Linoan. She joins at chapter 14x or 15 at level 3. And that is a nice point for Linoan here. Sara, if you remember, she joins at level 7 or 8, which means that Linoan has a few extra level ups which you can influence with the Azul and Balder scroll. Yeah. And the Dane scroll for that matter too. So yeah, Linoan should always have higher health and defense than Sara. That's a nice point for her there. An FCM of 5, as I mentioned, which is very strong, and very much like Sara, this lady too has the Sage promotion. Like, holy crap. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at her growths here. There isn't really a whole lot to say. Like, I'm gonna bring up Sara here in a moment and try and compare them. Like, yeah. Linoan's stats are really good. Like, magic, speed, and luck and skill will for sure max out, very much like with Sara there. Now, unlike Sara, Linoan, as I also mentioned there, has higher health, and I also believe she has 5% higher defense growth. But she does have 1% move growth less, which, yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, let's see here. Okay, here we go. I have aligned the screens here so we can very easily compare. Like, yeah, Sara has 10% lower health growth. She has less strength, but really, who cares? Now, one big deal here for Sara, obviously, is all the action stars. Yeah, we must absolutely factor them in. That pretty much just means that, yeah, Linuan is probably gonna be bested by Sara here. Yeah, but yeah, the magic growth here on Sara is way higher, but that shit doesn't matter. Both of them will max out. Magic and skill, yeah, Sara wins. Speed 2. They actually have the same defense growth. Yeah. So Linuan only wins out in health, which, in my opinion, is the most important stat here for mages. Since, magic skill speed will guaranteed be maxed out. Like, especially since they are both the sage class. Like, I mean, just look at those bonuses. Just, just look at them. It's just crazy. And yeah, they both get the adept skill and promotion. Sara obviously has more skills that will allow her to survive, yeah. Yeah, so even though Linuan has some perks or Sara there, she gets to level up her health and defense a little bit more. I don't think that is important enough. So, yeah. Indeed, yeah, it's not going to be important enough, so I'm going to nudge her down there. Yeah, Sara takes the cake there. I think Linuan still is slightly better than Saias. Like, she can just rewarp around and kick ass and also offer a lot of utility. And yeah, the support she has with both Leif and Dean is also very nice. Like, if she needs to, sit with the boys there. So, yeah, there you go. And speaking of the boy, here we have Dean. One of the best units in the game. Hands down, definitely the best flyer in the game. On outdoor maps, anyways. On indoor maps, he's not as good as somebody as, say, Karin here. Yeah. This might seem a little bit crazy. Like, obviously, he's got a better FCM than her. He's got, very good bases when he joins. He's got good growths. Yeah, there's really no bad thing about Dean, and he also gets 20% support from Linuan. There is only one thing that's a little bit, sad, I guess is a good word as any. Like, Linuan, she will be able to support him up a little bit in the early game when they can move together. Later on, like, she will just, do her own thing, just rewarp away, and Dean will never be able to catch up with her, and she can't pick him up and rewarp away because, he's too heavy. So that's a little bit of a shame there. But on outdoor maps, they can be really nice together. Since, she can rewarp away somewhere and he can just follow, But yeah, he's got the Dragon Pike 2, which is a very solid weapon. As I said, great growths. Yeah, you know what? Let's just jump and look at him here. Okay, so here we go. Here we have Glade's stats. 2 action stars. He joins on chapter 14, 3 FCM, and all his stats are high. Like, yeah, with the exception of luck and magic, I guess. But yeah, the magic is, expected to be low, I'd personally say. Oh yeah, and he joins in with A rank in both swords and lances there, so that's nice too. And yeah, his growths are pretty damn good. Like, yeah, the only thing he sucks at is growing in magic there, but other than that, yeah, health is good, strength is incredibly solid, skill, speed is alright, luck is alright, defense is high, constitution is absurdly high. What the heck, 40%. Yeah, to top of all of this up, he also supports up with Linuan and Eda. Yeah. So, yeah, he's a good unit, for sure. The only thing I don't like about Eda is, like, she's just inferior to Karin in pretty much every way, if you ask me. Well, not in every way, but for the end game, like, Karin... Yeah, thanks to the fact that she's got such high magic, as I pointed out several times, Eda can pretty much never be as good, unless you level her up with the Heim and Sad Scroll, I suppose, but... Yeah, I think it's just not worth it. But hey, you can definitely get her going if you wanna. But yeah, he supports up very nicely here with Linuan, and that's really the only one he needs. Like, she's got 20%, or he gets 20% bonus from her, which is absurd. This guy doesn't need 20%, but there you go. That's what he gets, which is cool. So, yeah, Linuan is all he needs as far as support goes. So yeah, I don't want to put him higher up than Karin. Like, yeah, on outdoor maps, he's definitely more solid than her when it comes to fighting. Does he bring more utility than a dancer? Yeah. See, that's what this game comes down to. Like, it feels like all the time. It's utility, 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 utility. Combat is important too, but like, yeah, it's so important to be able to use staves, like for healing and for crowd controlling enemies. Like, yeah, dealing with regular enemies is nothing special. That's why I can't just say, oh, he's super strong. Let's put him up here. Like, yeah, he is very strong, but like enemies in this game are not terribly strong, like to begin with. So I feel like it's much more important to be able to deal with, well, once again, crowd controlling enemies that are powerful. Enemy option mages with sleep staves and silence staves. Stuff like that is where it's at. And yeah, you can't really use the flame sword without excessive training there with the Heim scroll. Yeah, he's good, but I don't think I want to put him higher than this. Like, if he could use axes or lances indoor, yeah, sure, he would go up way higher. But yeah, he's going there at the mid S tier rank. And Eda. Yeah, Eda, I'm probably gonna put, well, probably at the bottom of the A tier. Well, is that unfair? She does have support from Dean there, but you know what? Let's jump on over and look at her stats. Yeah, here we have her. She joins at level 5 on chapter 14. She's very far behind, but doesn't really matter. She can very easily catch up. And she actually starts with D rank in Swords. That's pretty nice, Could have been worse. Yeah, her growths are alright. Yeah, higher strength than Karin, I want to say. Karin has 2% movement. Yeah, see, I feel like since she's a dragon rider, like, come on, game devs, give her higher constitution growth at the very least. Like, it should be at 20%. Like, seriously? Like, I don't know. But you know what? Her magic growth is at 20%. You know what? Okay, so she's probably a little bit better than I thought. Like, Karin starts out with 7 magic. This lady only had 2 or 3, right? Let's check again. Yeah, 3. Yeah, but with 20% magic, that's not so bad. That is actually higher than I thought. You can probably make her work, honestly. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need to bump her up a little bit in the tiers there. Yeah, so let's see. Like, I'm gonna bump her up to the top of the A tier, I think. I'm honestly not 100% sure, but those high magic growths there actually made me a little bit more curious about her. Like, if you do get her magic rolling, I would put her higher up in the tiers here. I definitely would. Yeah. Maybe about here. But yeah, no, it's so hard. Like, 20%. Yeah, I mean, I know that this guy on the indoor maps is super reliable with both master axes and master lances. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put her right here at the top of A rank. Like, she has potential, but yeah, she needs a lot of investment. But she has, yeah, once again, she has potential. She definitely does, and she supports her with one of the better units in the game. So yeah, I'm gonna put her right there. She's all right. Actually, I'm gonna bump her down below Selphina. Yeah, right there is where I want her. That's where you go, Ada, and then Mr. Brighton. Okay, so I'm probably gonna need to make some cut there. But yeah, next up here we have Brighton. Brighton is a decent unit. He's supported by Maka by 10%. His growths are kind of mid. He doesn't have any authority or action stars, but he has the Wrath skill, which definitely beats him up. I want to say he goes right here. Like, he uses axes on horseback, which is nice, but very much like Hicks, he has to use swords on the indoor maps. Yeah. Like, if it weren't for the Wrath skill, I would put him below Hicks here, but yeah, the Wrath skill is very nice. Like, yeah, he's he's a decent unit. You know, if you promote him early on, he will carry you through the mid game. And sure, he falls apart a little bit towards the end, but yeah, he's not a bad man to invest in if you want a smoother start. And yeah, once again, he's supported up by Makka there. Yeah, I think he belongs to be about right here. Let's have a look at his stats here. Oh, right, here we go. With Brighton. He joins at level 5 down there in the prison. So he gets a lot of time to practice sword fighting, which is a solid point for him. Yeah, for wanting to train him up, rather. Yeah, and even starts at D rank. Yeah, you can definitely get this going, or this man going, very early on. Yeah, he starts out with a lot of health, good constitution. Yeah, like all around solid stats for a level 5 X-Knight. And as I said, pretty mid growths here. Like his health is decent, and everything is in the, well, 30% range here. All his growths, I mean. Low magic, which isn't good for the end game. But yeah, like if you just give him a few scrolls, like he will definitely work himself out. Yeah. And the ref skill is really nice for just sitting around with hand axes or javelins and take... I mean, no, not javelins. With hand axes to take enemies out. And yeah, I guess... heck, even with flame swords in the end game, like he can probably deal some decent damage. You know, once again, due to the ref skill, he can just create enemies when countering. But yeah, he's gonna have very low magic. Yes, he starts out with 0, yeah. Yeah, he belongs in the A tier. Yeah, I think he belongs right about where he's at here. I think Misha here definitely offers more utility, and... Actually, why the heck is Misha below Robert? Now that I look at it, she should totally be above. Actually, I probably even want to do this. Yeah, Ada, you go right there. She gets nudged down yet again. Brighton, I'm probably gonna put him above Robert though. Yeah, just like this, and heck. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These two are I'm pretty much just split between them. But yeah, Brighton, you go about here. Ada slightly higher. Misha. Yeah, Misha would be at the top, but yeah, she just doesn't offer enough support here. Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, let's just go to Makka here next. Makka, it would be a crime to not put her up higher here into the ranks. Like, the thing is, she doesn't have any support, very much like Halvan, right? And she only has swords at the beginning of the game. But once she promotes, she's at D rank in Access. So if you are going to use her, make sure you promote her pretty early and start leveling up Access. And if you do, she's 100% gonna be able to carry in the end game, like at a very high level. I think she can honestly be up here somewhere, like maybe even higher. She has the Vantage skill, she has high FCM, so if she gets to toss Master Axes, like even without support, she's gonna cause some serious damage. Yeah, she might honestly be up here at the top tier. Yeah, I think Orsin technically is better since he's got support with Tanya. And, he has the Vrav skill. She has the Vantage. Halvan 2 has the Vantage. Yeah, all these three are extremely good. Like, right on the border of being Bounty Gaming tier units here. Yeah. If only they were able to move faster. Like, see, that's the deal with these guys. Like, they're at 6 movement after they are promoted, so they're very low in terms of utility, but they are powerhouses as far as fighting goes. Like, nothing can pretty much deal with them, especially if you just give them some scrolls to level up a little bit of magic with. Then, yeah, they are just aces. Like, they don't really need stat boosting scrolls that give them more strength, defense, stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't hurt for them to have them, but yeah, with the Heim scroll and the Beragi scroll, towards the end of the game, if you can get them up to 7 to 10 magic, well, yeah, then they can pretty much handle anything. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put it right there. And heck, if it gets said, well, then it's pretty much GG. Then she has support there. She's gonna be even stronger. But yeah, let's look at her stats. Makuya, level 2. Let's see here. She comes with the Vantage skill, an FCM of 3, decent base stats. Yeah, a lot of speed and luck, very nice. And when she promotes, she gets good stats. However, she only gets E rank in Axis. So yeah, it's probably a good idea to try and promote her early if you want to use her. Like, get her as close to level 20 as you possibly can, and promote her, start using Axis like your life depended on it. If she gets to use Master Axis, well, she's just going to be one of those allies that can just run over everything in the end game. Especially if you train her up in the magic department to its scrolls. But yeah. And yeah, she only supports up Brighton, and she gets support by Zed. I really wish that Brighton also supported her up. That would have been nice. But yeah, let's see. Let's have a gander at her growths. They aren't bad. Her constitution is a little bit low. Yeah, they could probably have beefed her up there to 15% without her being overpowered or anything. But yeah. Let's see. Decent health, decent strength, 10 magic, 55 skill. Yeah. Like, overall decent unit. 25% defense, like, not bad. Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, she joins at such a low level, even though her growths aren't super high. Like, they're good, but just not super high. Just the fact that she has so many level ups to grow, just, yeah, pretty much cements her as a solid character. It's just the axe fighting here that you gotta worry about, is what I would say. So yeah, she's gonna be up here. I think she's slightly better than Halvan. Just slightly, but obviously Halvan is a lot easier to use. Yeah. Actually, maybe I will put Halvan above. Yeah, she has support with Zed. Halvan doesn't have any support, with the exception of Eyvel, I suppose. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put her right here, just because she has one FCM lower than him. They both have the vantage skill, and he's also easier to get going with axes than she is. So yeah, I think it's natural to put her here in the third spot, yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. Then Alfred. Mr. Alfred here. Not a super solid unit, but he's good. When he joins in, he comes with the bolt sword there, I remember. He's supported up 10% by Lady Olven, but sadly he doesn't support her back up. Yeah. But Alfred, let's have a look at him here. Here we go. Alfred here, or Fred as they call him, joins at level 2 in chapter 11X. His bases are pretty good actually. And yeah, he comes with very nice weapon expertise here as well. Yeah, he's not a bad unit. And you know, he starts with 4 magic, which isn't bad. 15% magic growth, that's not bad either. He could probably hit levels of 8 to 10 magic if you just train him up with some magic boosting scrolls there. But yeah, let's see. His growths are actually pretty damn solid. Like, yeah, good con, high defense, decent luck. Yeah, like, this isn't a bad character to train whatsoever. He's definitely pretty damn solid. If he has Olvan close to him, well, then he becomes even better. Yeah, not a bad unit. So, where would I put him? Probably higher than A rank. Like, he's decent at using the flame sword. Yeah, but I still think that even in the end game, I'm probably gonna put him right here. Like, he doesn't offer as much utility as somebody like Dean in the, well, on outdoor maps, but he's slightly better than Dean perhaps in the end game on indoor maps, like, just because he can wield swords more efficiently than this guy can. But overall, like, this guy has better support. Yeah, high FCM, action stars, like all of that. Yeah, Alfred is a little bit too mid. But yeah, I would say, even though Glade here offers so much support for all units around him, and even though he's got good growths and good bases and all of that, like, Alfred is on the same level as him in those regards, but he's also gonna get more magic. So yeah, I think that I'm just gonna have to put him right here. He's slightly better at fighting, especially off his mount. Like, on their mounts, they're pretty much equal. Well, not really though, because yeah, this guy gets 20% support, yeah. I think I like Alfred slightly more, or, well... Actually, I'm gonna put him here, and the only reason for that is because of the authority start. Like, I'm honestly torn here. I'm honestly torn on what to do. Yeah, I'm gonna put him right here, actually. No, I'm gonna put him... Damn it. Ah, no, okay, right here. I'm gonna put him right there. He can fight slightly better than Glade on indoor maps. Glade can fight slightly better on outdoor maps. Yeah, and he also supports up so many around him. Yeah, I'm gonna put Alfred there. Yeah, I made up my mind. That's where he goes. And then Olven. Yeah, we have only a few more characters left here. This lady I've never used. I actually know nothing on her or about her. I probably can't even rate her. I never recruited her. I don't actually even know her name. Connemar I've never recruited either. Javier, nope. Shanam, nope. Or Shannon, you know, in Fire Emblem 4 anyways. But yeah, so I'm probably just going to have to leave these guys out here. Because, well, once again, I know nothing about them. But yeah, we could quickly look at them, I suppose. But yeah, Olven. And let's see here now. Next up is Olven. I'm not exactly sure where to put her, but she's supported up by Leif. She's got that going for her. Her bases aren't very good. Like, she joins as a pre-promoted unit, and her stats are very lackluster. But, luckily for her, she has very high FCM, and she comes with the Dire Thunder, so she can deal some serious damage with that combo there, with the weapon and her high FCM. It's a shame, really, that Alfred doesn't support her up, too. If, like, she's got support by both Alfred and Leif, well, then she would be, well, in the upper tiers here for sure. But, yeah, I think, like, here's the thing. Yeah, we're gonna need to go and look at her stats here. Hold on a sec. Alright, here we have Olven. She joins at Chapter 11X at level 2 with 1 action star and FCM of 4. Her bases aren't the best, what can I say? But, yeah, I do believe she has decent offensive growth. So, yeah, we're going to have a look at those in a bit. Let's see. Yeah, she's got C rank in Sword, B rank in Lightning, D rank in Wind. That's nice. That means she can use Wind Tomes and train up to use Blizzard Siege Tomes. Yeah. Okay, well, not bad. Not bad, not bad. And let's have a quick look here. Well, yeah, you know, her growths aren't bad. HP sure isn't the best. Defense is low, but strength, magic, skill, speed, and luck are, well, almost excessively so high. Yeah, she can definitely get going very quickly if you just put some effort into her. Like, honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea to save the Pydagon skill that you get earlier on in the game for her. That way, she can, well, easily level up, even though she's a promoted unit here. But yeah, as you can see, you can definitely get her going here. So yeah, with that said, Olven, pretty damn good. Like, if you just give her the Azul skill, she can get some decent amounts of health there. She will be very tanky towards mages. Yeah, she just needs to get rolling health-wise, and she will be super solid. Like, she's not a bad unit whatsoever. Yeah, but where do I put her? I think I want to put her, well, it's hard to say. Right about here, I guess. Like, she is stronger than Dean and Karin in the endgame when it comes to fighting indoors. Especially if you give her a skill like the Vantage skill. Like, imagine Vantage on top of having the Dire Thunder Tome that she has. Like, it has the Brave effect there, so it allows her to shoot twice. Like, yeah, she can essentially just... well, get warped into any room in the game and just sit there with the Dire Thunder and kick some ass, you know. But yeah, utility-wise, I think, yeah, these characters are above her. Yeah, but she's really good, though. I'd probably put her below Karin, too. Well, yeah, I'm actually going to put her above Karin. Yeah. Karin is better earlier on, but she gets better than him later on. Much better, I'd say, just because she can very efficiently attack off her steed and on her steed, you know. So there you go. Then Ralph. Mr. Ralph. Yeah, I'm probably going to put him, well, pretty high up. He doesn't have any FCM, he doesn't have any skills, but if you do train him, like, his growths aren't bad, he can use Master Axes, so Yeah, you know me, I'm probably gonna put him right here, like very high up. It sounds crazy to put somebody like Ralph higher up than this guy. Um, but yeah, I really think this guy is also extremely underrated. Like, he doesn't have support, but neither does Marty. I really value Axis that much. Like, yeah, he's a really good unit if you just train him up a little bit with a few scrolls. But yeah, let's look at his stats. Yeah, here we have Ralph. Supported by nobody, which is sad. C rank in Axis, A rank in Sword, very nice. Very high con, FCM of 1, no action stars. Yeah, decent bases here. Nothing to brag about, but nothing to scoff at either. He certainly has a lot of health. Yeah, and he's got a nice chunk of speed too. You can't go wrong with this dude. That's really all I'm gonna say. And yeah, he's definitely gonna cap out in defense, constitution probably too. Yeah, huh. Speed and luck is a little bit low. Skill too. Yeah, if you just give him the Uller scroll, then he's gonna be at 40, 30, 25. Yeah, I think you're pretty much gonna have to do that. Strength is alright, HP is alright. Yeah, he's a good unit, probably a bit underrated too. Yeah, but let's see. Let's go back to the tier list. Yeah, so Ralph is pretty much in the same boat as Marty. He needs some love with scrolls, like the Uller scroll, a scroll which nobody really needs to use, is excellent on him. So yeah, if you just put some elbow grease and get him going, I really think he's a super good unit. Now, I must admit, it's a little bit weird seeing Dean below these two. Yeah, like Dean. Yeah, I'm not sure how accurate my tier list here. Like, yeah, see, now I'm wavering a little bit because, like, he has a lot of utility, but I value these two so much on defensive chapters. Like, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it like this. I truly believe that on chapters where you need to sit and pull enemies in, like, having X users is such a nice thing, and heck, towards the end of the game, they are super important to have. Or, well, not super important, honestly, because you can have, or, well, you can just level up mages to deal with the enemy mages. But yeah, these two are very good. This guy is very good too. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like that. And then we have Troy here, or Eloise. I used him quite a bit in my playthrough. Yeah, I'm gonna put him right here, and then we're gonna have a look at him. Here we have him. He joins at chapter 16A at level 8. He doesn't have any authority stars on your team, but one action star, and his bases are pretty good. And very much like Olven there, he's a mage knight. But yeah, he's got really good bases, like high strength, high magic. Yeah, he's a really good unit to use throughout the entire game. He's very similar to Olven here too in growths. Yeah, high strength, magic skill, speed, luck, decent defense and con. And yeah, he's pretty much a Olven copy, right? So yeah, and he also has the miracle skill when he joins, and the soul too, right? Yeah, he starts with both, yeah, and the soul manual there he comes with. Yeah, but really good unit. He suffers only from two things, and that is a FCM of 0, and he doesn't have support, but it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as he's close to somebody like Nanna or Dermott there towards the end, he can still use siege tomes really well, even when there are enemy generals nearby. And yeah, heck, he's decent at wielding swords as well. Like, yeah, I like this unit. He's good for taking out regular scrubs on the map with, So, yeah, where do we put him? Where do I put him? I think, well, about here maybe. Yeah, like in the low S tier. Like, he's got solid growths. If you train him up, like, to level 20, he's gonna be really good at fighting. Heck, even though I didn't train him, he was really good. He could just run around and strike down enemy ballista, and he was really good at taking out low-level enemies too. Yeah, even though he doesn't have reliable support. His stats are just carrying him. So yeah, he's a powerhouse. And heck, you could even use him recently, relatively well in the very end game there, in Chapter 24X and Chapter 25. Although I wouldn't bring him there. But you could, I guess. He's going to be tanky enough at the very least to survive a few Fenrir shots. And yeah, then these guys, I don't really know where to put them. I never used them. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I definitely think I'm completely right here in the bounty gaming tier. I am wavering a little bit in the S tier here, like especially with Dean. Like, but yeah, he's got good utility on outdoor maps. He joins there in Chapter 14, but like in my playthrough, I didn't really feel like I needed him all that much. Like I want to say I'm crazy for putting him here, like below characters like Marty and Ralph, but at the same time, I honestly believe I'm right. Call me crazy. Like, yeah, he can fly around, but I never really found that much use of him. Like, even in chapters like Chapter 19, like, I honestly just used Dean as a character to fly around and visit houses. Like, he couldn't really, yeah, I don't know. Like, the game isn't hard enough to warrant him, like, as a usual unit. Like, yeah, and then when archers show up, they scare him away. Whereas these two, they can just sit and take any brunt and just fight back, toss axes back. Master axes are in the game. Yeah, it's just too overpowered. Like, as solid as this guy is, I honestly think characters like Ralph outscale him heavily. As long as you put effort into them. And yeah, I mean, these guys, I have no clue. Let's have a look at Javier here. Yeah, here we have him, the myth and the legend himself, Javier, a character I've never bothered to recruit. He comes with a wide variety of skills, Pavise, Accost, and Wrath. Very nice skills, I will say, and he also gives your army a authority star. Okay, and he joins with A in Axis. Well, you know what? This guy is going places very fast here, as far as I'm concerned. His base stats are very low for a level 6 general, and an FCM of 0. Okay, so he's pretty much in the same boat as Sara. He wants enemies to come to him. But, yeah, I mean, high defense at the very least, decent health. Alright growths. Yeah, you know what? His defense growth is very low, but he started at 17, right? Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Not in the slightest. A little bit low in the health department, but you can easily fix that with the Jesus scroll. Yeah, you know what? This is actually a really good unit if you train him. Like, just give him something that boosts health a little bit, and he can scale out of control. And heck, the Pavise will sometimes even block damage for him. Yeah, this guy isn't bad, and he even supports up with Leif. And the Authority, yeah. With Master Axes, I can definitely see this guy being a threat to enemies. Yeah, let's see. 6 movement, okay. So, where do we put him? Well, I mean, it's really hard. Like, I feel like he should be up here somewhere too, with Master Axes, although his skills definitely outperforms these guys. Probably here somewhere. Yeah. He's a really good unit. The Authority star there. It's just icing on the cake. Shanam, apparently from what I hear. Like, actually, yeah, let's just go and look him up. Here we have him, Shanam. Yeah, he comes with the bargain skill and the adept skill, okay. But he can't fight. But the bargain skill is interesting. You can definitely use him to, well, get a lot of good stuff from shops. And yeah, his growths are, well, very similar to Marty's. Let's just put it like that. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure you can make him work. But I definitely see why people say he's kind of lackluster. Magic of 1, he can only use swords. Constitution of 6. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no support. He's mainly just here for the bargain. But can you make him work with skills? Yep, you sure can. But probably not the best idea. So, yeah, I'm probably not even gonna rate this guy. Like, the bargain skill there is nice, but not necessary. I'm just gonna put him, like, as far as fighting goes, like, if you try... I don't know. Do I even want to rate this guy? He's just so weird. Let's just pop him down here at the bottom of the A rank. It takes a lot of effort, but he has the discount thing there. That's pretty cool. I think it's more useful than these two just because of the bargaining skill at the very least. I don't know. I don't freaking know. Yeah, you know, let's just put him there. Then Conamore. Alright, here we go. Here we have Conamore. He joins with decent stats, very much like Amalda. He's got an FCM of 2, very much like Amalda as well, and the same amount of action stars and authority stars as her too, I believe. So, yeah, he's a decent unit. He comes with a cost skill. I definitely prefer Amalda though. Like, even though this guy has maxed out sword and lance fighting, like, he's good, don't get me wrong, but the cost skill is not as good as the adept skill in my opinion. And, like, she can use staves, which makes her a lot more utility focused than this guy. Yeah, so he's good, but just not good as her, as his counterpart there. And yeah, his growths are solid too. What do you know? Yeah, not a bad unit. Can't go wrong with this one either. So yeah, let's see here. Where do we put Javier? I'm honestly not sure. Like, let's see. Amalda is all the way up here, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I'm honestly gonna nudge her up a little bit. I honestly think she should probably be up here. Like, what with all her utility and the fact that she can fight so well with the flame sword too. So yeah, let's bump her up a little bit. But yeah, Conamore, the cost skill, not as good as the adept. He does give you an authority star, which is nice. He fights really well on outdoor maps, not so much on indoor ones. I mean, he's maxed out in swords, but he's not very good. Just because he can't use flame swords. Like, he's alright. I'm gonna put him above the Christmas boys here, but not above characters such as Alfred. I think he's gonna be more solid since he's got slightly higher magic there. Yeah, he can actually use magic swords on the indoor maps, and on outdoor maps they are essentially the same. Yeah. But yeah. Lost up this lady here. I actually don't know her name, so I'm gonna have to go and look it up. Here we have her. Miranda is apparently her name. I've never recruited this unit. You recruit her in Chapter 16B in the Millefui Forest there then. Yeah, I've only played that map on one of my playthroughs, but yeah, I didn't manage to recruit her then. I actually am not even sure how you do it. I don't think I even saw her. But yeah, she has the Rev skill apparently. That's nice. She is a Mage Knight apparently. Okay. Very cool. She... Oh, wait, she joins as a mage, but then becomes a Mage Knight. Okay, yeah. And then she gets access to sword fighting at E rank. Wow, that's pathetic. That's gonna be annoying to train up. But yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to go with tomes on her. Her basis for the level 5 mage is okay, I'd say. No FCM, no action or authority stars to speak of. That's a little bit lame. Wow. Her growths are pretty good though. Like, a lot of health for a mage. Yeah. Magic skill, speed, luck should max out on their own. Defense and health are okay, or well, slightly above average as far as mages go. You know, she's alright, but I mean, yeah. The rest skill is pretty damn nice. Yeah, she's an alright unit. I never really played with her, so it's gonna be hard for me to pinpoint where I would like for her to go. But yeah, a mage/mage knight. Not as good as Olven though, because, well, you know, Olven has FCM and she has the Dire Thunder there too. But yeah, I'm sure like if you train her, she is up here somewhere in the S tier, you know. Yeah, having high magic at the end of the game, it makes you very tanky. And let's see here. Yeah, she is supported by Leif, and she apparently supports up Conamore by 20%. Holy crap, I did not know that. Okay, well, 10% from Leif. Well, yeah, I mean, if you train her, she's good. I'm probably just gonna stick her here. I'm honestly not sure. At the lower end of the S tier, like, yeah, but it's a lot of effort, so. But yeah, having mages at the end of the game is always nice, even if they can't use even if they can't use staves there, yeah. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy like this. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will make a comment here on Dean. Yeah, I realize it looks weird, but I honestly think some of these characters here, or all of these characters, are actually above him in terms of tier. Like, I value staves so high in this lady. I value fighting on the indoor maps towards the end, later chapters of the game very high. Like being able to fight off mages, I mean, and tank them for one. Dean is very squishy towards mages, like, but you know, you can, if you level him up with scrolls and cover up his magic issues, like, yeah, he definitely goes up here. You know, if he's at like 10 magic or above, he's definitely gonna sit up here somewhere. Like, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Yeah, actually, maybe I will boop him up. Karin too, for that matter. I think. Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, I'm gonna keep it like this. This is what my gut is telling me, so that's how I keep it. This is the final verdict. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think I'm full of shit. But yeah, this is my opinion. This is what it looks like. I might be completely wrong, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Thank you guys so very much for watching my tier list video here. It's been a long one. I don't blame you if you didn't watch the whole damn thing. Just skipped around. I'm gonna try and include timestamps there so that you can easily see what the heck is going on and, you know, where to find certain characters. So yeah, but yeah, I'll see you guys in Sacred Stones. It's gonna be a fun one, and then it's on to Fire Emblem 11 Shadow Dragon. Bye for now.